Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast. Ozcast. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
This season of Negative Camber the Motorsports Show is proudly brought to you by True Steel Frames, Move Yourself Trailer Hire, Red Mill Bakery, Pro Karts Race Centre Paracca, Barbarino, TD Racing, T4, Patrizzi Course, IKD, DR Karts Australia, and Radio Italia Uno.
Is he an Adelaide guy?
Yeah. He's based here. Lives in the city?
In the city,
just outside of it. Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yep.
He'd be good to podcast, V.
To podcast
Oh,
you,
yeah,
or
mate.
you want to podcast
Yeah.
him?
Mate, has he got a story or what?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's come from the depths of fucking
Got
hell
it?
and back. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves you.
All
Doesn't
right.
everyone?
No, that's just my standard response to
Yeah.
that. Being back into.
Hold on.
She's not fucking listening. That's
Yeah.
what's happening.
I'm trying to do a post. One of your followers said that one of the boys. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that Lisa Panuti?
Yes.
No, she just messaged me too.
Who the fuck's that?
So her daughter Ileana races for as part of the motorsport club that I run. She is
Go-karts.
Yes.
Yes.
And-
I follow her.
Yeah,
Little girl.
She literally idolizes you.
Yeah.
So when they found
Hey,
out,
can you look that up? Because I actually do. I want to go out to the track when she's there.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday this weekend.
What was her name? Sorry.
so her name is Ileana Ostojic.
Yeah, I
But-
follow her.
Yeah. But her mother's name is Lisa Panuti.
Do you want my phone or you got? Do you reckon Ant Center really said this? Right, someone's done this. I would rather die by hitting a wall at 300 k's an hour than grow old in a wheelchair.
I don't know if that's one of his.
Well, me being a centre nut, I would say probably not, because he feared death. So he feared
Fuck,
it.
all right, you lame way
Yeah.
more than me. All right, let's
Yeah.
go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Just
I think
talk.
have you been recording already? So we just need to do a bit of silence and
some pre-stuff there.
All right. Welcome to Negative Camber, the Motorsport Show. Special edition here. We are very, very honoured to be in the Ozcast Network studios here in the Adelaide CBD. And with me is a man that really needs no introduction, but I'm going to fucking introduce him anyway. So,
That's very kind.
charismatic director of Drake Supermarkets, LinkedIn influencer, Australia's top voice in 2019, and the supermarket boss recognised as Mr. JP Drake.
Thank you. Whoa.
that's a bit of an introduction.
Top voice. Makes me feel a bit Guy Sebastian. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, I wish I could sing.
I was going to ask, what are your singing lessons or singing skills like?
I can, when whoever created us gave you talents, singing was missed off on
Yep.
my list. I can tell you that with the fact. Anyone around me can tell you that, and most people's my voice is annoying, especially the ones around me. But I definitely can't sing. I think that would be cool to be a rock star. I think I miss my calling.
Rockstar, motorsport driver, actor. I reckon those are the three gigs that you want if you want to have anything in life.
One of my career dream goals was to actually be an opera singer. Like Andrea Bocelli, like maybe not quite Pavarotti.
Well, you're
'cause I didn't
Italian.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's operatic enough.
Yeah. Well, you'd need to put on a lot more weight.
That's the first time anyone's ever said that to you.
I feel fucking blessed. It's great. JP, I love you, man. That's
John
it.
Paul. Yeah, I was religious one day, I'm assuming. Just not today.
This show can go anywhere tonight. This is going to be great.
Started well.
This is going to be great. But no, mate, it is absolutely an honour to have you come on to the show. And no holds barred. You can be as frank and honest as you want, because there'll probably only be a couple of hundred listeners listening to this on Spotify, but who gives a fuck? So
That's all right. I feel your pain. Don't worry about that. I'm well adverse to that. I think it's about having a good chat. Am I always frank and honest? Yeah, I pretty much am. Like, what you see is what you get. And
don't strike me through the limited that I know you. There's someone to hold back on anything.
Yeah, well, I think moving in life, I think we've got too much wokeness going on. And I think people are too afraid to say things now. And it kind of it bothers me that people can't actually say what they're thinking. And I don't know, I've made a big decision not to be that sort of person. Draw a line in the sand. If I say something, I need to be prepared that it could be on the front page of a newspaper. And then I need to be able to sit there and go, that's what I said, and this is why I said it. Yeah. So you do get that with me. I muck around a lot. I like having fun. Yeah. Because life's short. You're born, you get some disease, and then you die.
Is that the same sort of motto that you take into the business world as well? Like your staff, do they see you as joking around and the jovial guy? Like I feel like I get myself in a little bit of hot water sometimes because I'm the same guy. Like there's a lot of fragile feelings around, and I'm trying my best to navigate through that. But I try not to hold back too often and want to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you have as much passion as a concrete wall sometimes.
My wife would say that. But maybe passion that. But for me, I think I'm pretty consistent. I think I don't have much that I change. I'm pretty good in quite serious meetings to say something that everyone is thinking, but no one wants to say it. And with my team, I am what I am. I don't want to change that because I have to tiptoe around because I'm worried about what Henry, the transgender person, is, or worried about what she thinks, or worried about what he thinks. We're all humans. We all breathe air. We should all be treated the same, regardless of whatever identity you are. I could be identifying as a glass of water today, and people don't question that. No. And I think it's wild. Like, what have we done? Yeah. So for me, I'm pretty consistent. So I don't think I change the waters. Sometimes you have to be a bit more sensitive if something serious is going on, but most of the time you don't. And most of the time, I think lightening up sort of gets people more relaxed, gets people on board, and gets people to go, okay, this is a normal person. And with our industry, I don't know if you want to know about our industry. We're a supermarket game. We have 65 stores in SA and Queensland. Dad started the business 49 years ago to 48. Yeah, 49 years ago. It's 50 years next year.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Are you guys still based at Torrensville in terms of head office?
Yeah. The ugliest store Drake's has is Torrensville, where the head office is. That's got to stop. So we are looking at making that store one of our, show-off stores. So lucky for the people in Mile End, Torrensville, lucky you guys. So fingers crossed you'll be able to see that. But, Dad started with nothing. And, as a kid, I didn't see Dad much at all, actually. And, I look back on it now and think, I didn't see it. But I look back at it now and think of all the hard work and dedication that he's had and the team has had to get us into a position today where, I work bloody hard. I've worked my whole life in the business. So I started collecting trolleys and doing night fill and assistant night fill manager, and, fruit and veg, worked in the deli, worked in every department, supervising, category management. And I wanted to be a Formula One driver.
It's like listening to my life story.
Didn't we all?
And Dad wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
So it was short-lived.
Yeah.
In fact, I was racing karts. John Grove, I think it is, was my meat manager at Surrey Downs. And he said, do you want to come out and race the karts? I said, sure. So I went out there. He got everything prepared for me. What John didn't know is that I was probably out all night the night before and rocking up to a racetrack Sunday. No breath testing at the track, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And I was probably irresponsible. And I raced. I actually did all right in races, but I was finding my social life. I was DJing at the same time. I was just, and then I had to start paying for it, and I realised I couldn't afford this. Yeah. And that was in karts, and I didn't know anything about a kart. Someone was doing everything for me. And I went, well, okay, so I have to quit. It was a very quick career. Yeah. It lasted a whole few months. But
what years are we talking here, and where were you sort of racing? Because a lot of our listener base is karters and based in South Australia.
This is in the... I don't know. What did I finish school in 93, I think. So this is probably 93.
Yeah.
I think, I don't actually know. I think 93 is when I did finish school. So I did a few meets there. I remember going to Oakbank.
Yep.
Yeah. Bolivar.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did a couple of meets, and I was one of those guys that would always win the go-karting, like when you go
Kartmania and
yeah. So I thought I was really good, but then I remember the first time accelerating in a go-kart, I was like, holy shit! Yep. Like that first foot down, I was like, oh my god, I'm floating, and that was like, damn, I fucking love it.
Yeah,
and
it's such a hit, such an adrenaline rush, that two-stroke power.
Yeah, and I realised that I needed to start karting at the age of 2
to make it to F1.
to make it to F1, and I did a quick calculation, and it came out, no, you're too old, and you're not good enough. So it was one of those things I couldn't do. So moral of that story was, if you've got some dreams, strive harder for them.
Oh, man. I used to work at Coles and doing trolleys and all that sort of stuff when I was younger as well. And your story resonates a lot with me because I'd sort of moved through the departments. And at one point, I actually wanted to run or get into their management traineeship and all that sort of stuff. And I remember when I was younger, this is a story you didn't even know, I actually went for a job at Drake's. And it was with... I can't remember her name.
Rocco Marafiotti, Phil Shaler.
No. It was in head office, and it was going to be working with HR
Chris
in...
Case. Wouldn't it be before Leanne Fraser?
Leanne Fraser.
Wow.
Yeah, Leanne Fraser, that's right.
Leanne she's been with us for ages. I don't know, many, many, many years.
Yeah.
It's great, been awesome for our business. Wow. What were you going to do?
She, it was actually, I think it was something to do with in the legal department within HR, and I think if I remember correctly, it was either contract interpretation or something along those lines. No.
Oh, but that's perfect for the legal department.
Yeah.
That would have fitted really well.
Yeah, but I was studying a business degree at the time, and I'd done work at Coles head office down at Jeps Cross, and it was in HR, and so my contract was coming to an end, and I didn't want to really go back and work the floor. Once you had that exposure at a head office at that level, it's like, well, and I can't even remember how the opportunity had come up. I think I just threw my resume into Drake's.
I'm surprised you didn't get the job.
No lawyer background or...
No.
So, I can't remember what happened. I think it did come down to experience in the end, and that was it. So who'd have thought? But no, I remember those days, man. Trolleys and this was back in the days at Newton before they had done the upgrade.
Yeah.
So I'm talking like the back car park was literally just open space.
Yep.
So there'd be like 150 trolleys in a row, just pushing up that hill, and fuck, it was a slog. But I tell you what, you earned your stripes. You know, like you busted your ass and you worked hard every Saturday to earn that money. So, I mean, for you, were you conscious of wanting to stay in retail, or was that just like to keep in the family business? Or
it's interesting. Like when I was going through school, like I sit there and I look at all these kids that I was going to, and my old man left Gillis Plains High in year 9, and then he went out to start his own. And at the time, he was a hustler. Like he was cleaning the Clovercrest pool. He worked lighting people's cigarettes at the Clovercrest Tavern underage. He also got a job at Coles.
Yep.
But his big fame was he went into a job at Woolworths, and they turned around and they said, mate, you're not going to make it in this industry without a uni degree. So he was a bit dejected. He walked across across the road there, and there was Coles. So I thought, I'll go apply for a job on Coles. And Coles grabbed him as a manager in training.
Yep.
And from what I can tell, after speaking to his colleagues, he was the Tom Cruise of retailing.
What, for his devilishly good looks or just his work ethic?
His work ethic.
I was going to say he wasn't jumping on the couch.
I know I got my good looks from him, but let's just go with the work ethic for now. And so he was their rising star. Like he was apparently very good. 8 years into his tender, they moved him down to Mount Gambier. And back in those days, Coles would pay for the house, and whatever rent you were getting in your house in the city, they would then replicate that and pay for the whole house. And he had staff members working there. And they were freezing cold, and I didn't know this, but they used to use oil for heaters.
They still do. There's a lot of houses up in the hills that still use oil for heaters. Yeah.
Learnt something new. And they were all freezing, couldn't sleep, and they had nowhere to iron their shirts. So Dad one day went to the senior exec, was in town, walks up to him, and he sits there and he says, look at the end. He goes, it's my chance. I'm going to mention, look, we just need some oil for the heaters, and we need some, coat hangers or clothes somewhere to hang our clothes. And the execs looked at him and goes, mate, with that sort of attitude, you're never going to make it in this industry. And he was a bit taken back. And he thought about it and thought, 8 years. I've put in my blood, sweat and tears, and this is how you treat me? So he left. He went and got a job at a 3-lane supermarket called Jack and Jill, which he eventually, that technically was the first Drake store, but if you want to get technical, it's probably Torrensville. But he then left and started out and went out on his own. And that was 49 years ago today. So sliding doors moment for you.
Yeah.
Now look at you. Look at where you've come.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mate, it's that story reminds me of a time at Coles. I'm not going to name the name of the store manager because I don't know if he's still there, but John Campbell was his name.
Yes.
All right. So John Campbell, and I really wanted to, and he was a real big, tall store manager. Thought his shit didn't stink, and I really wanted to push to get onto management trainee. And I asked him, and he ummed and ahed about it, and he turned around to me and he goes, mate, go and get a job. Go and get a real job. And shut the door in my face. And I thought to myself that day, you know what, man? Fuck you, right?
I'll show you.
Yep.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
And that was the start. And I wasn't in Coles for that much longer, only because uni degree and all that sort of stuff. But it was, again, sliding doors moment, and it's good to see you 30 years prior to that, your dad more or less got the same message.
Yeah. And thank fuck for that.
Absolutely.
Like, it's, obviously I've done all right from that. But I've busted my guts the whole time. Like I've, you talk about stories. Get dropped off like first to sporting events, last to be picked up because Dad was always hustling to go to other stores. It was ongoing. But when I'm getting to there was a story here somewhere. Actually, far out. We were talking about something. Yes. Yeah. So for me, I was always, in the car going somewhere. But when I was at school, Dad really had nothing. He had a couple of Foodland stores. No one knew who Drakes were at all. With some people with lots of money. I was at PAC. I went to PAC. And Dad just wanted his son to go somewhere that he never could. And that's why I went there. Did I like school? Nah, hated it. Did I pass? Yes, and I had to finish year 12. But for me, it was like, there was really no Drake thing. I didn't really know that he was successful in a way at all. Even in year 10 and 12, we had some supermarkets. I didn't think much of it. I was thinking, these supermarkets, they're not going to get me a jet. They're not going to get me an F1 career. And, I look back on it and I was thinking, he was just working flat out. And I started working the business early, like, after school, I'd be working Saturdays when they only had to work 3 or 4 hours. I'd be working. I got a good story. I was collecting trolleys and the trolley collector told me to go fuck myself. And I was like, that's interesting. So
might try that.
So then I just started working from the bottom. I've always enjoyed it. I worked flat out. My work ethic has been flat out. Like, I was selling stuff at school.
As you do.
Yeah, like porno mags.
Oof.
I had a good business too. Very good.
That would have turned a good
I was
market.
thinking it was going to be those nut bars that Drakes are selling these days now. They're fucking delicious.
The other thing I sold was Coke. Remember the little bottles, the 230.
Yeah.
So back then, no one could get them, and I could get heaps
Get your
good
hands
Coke.
on them. Yeah.
So
The best Coke in
yeah,
town.
yeah, it's the best Coke in town. So I would get the crates when they had the plastic crate. Like, so I was selling that, and then it was almost a downfall. Lachlan Dennis, if you're listening, mate, he got. I was selling Ninja Stars, and I was literally getting them for free, right? Because I had it was my sister's boyfriend. He was getting them, and I would figured out if I just shaved it a little bit, made it look like it'd been manufactured, I could say they're balanced. So I did, and it was all good. But then Lockie killed a cat.
With a Ninja Star?
With a Ninja Star.
Yeah, and then it come back, and then I got called into the office. What did I do? I denied it, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
And because of that, Dad gave me a high five. He said, "Good on you. Just got to make sure you don't admit that ever."
Yeah.
I just
Till
did.
now. Yeah.
Shit.
And
I'm
so,
going
like,
to jail. Oh no.
the beginning of this story was all didn't go to uni. Your dad didn't go to uni, and he
No.
struggled and being told he didn't have a uni degree. Did you end up going to uni as well, or
No.
was it straight into the family
Straight in.
business and this is what we're going to do?
Flat out, straight in.
Yeah.
Well, bear in mind, I had a week off for schoolies. I went to Victor Harbour.
Oof.
It
Living.
was some good stuff over there. Okay. So what were we talking about?
Uni.
Uni.
You're going to uni or not going to uni? Well, we can stay on schoolies
Then
if you
I
like.
came back. That was fun. Then I came back, and for me, coming back to like that week off, and then I worked flat out.
Yeah.
So I was doing night fill at Woodcroft, just a filler, and then I worked my way up from there. 30 years.
30
of
years,
business,
yeah.
this
You got
year.
that this year?
Yeah, and you want to know, is that what I always wanted to do? I was DJing at the same time in some clubs. I don't think I was that good, but I loved the music. But, played at a few raves, like, open air, out in the forest, like real cool stuff.
Some
And,
bush stuffs.
Yeah, lots of doof, minimal technos.
What did you call it? Bush stuff. out in the outback, yeah, bush
like
stuff.
enchanted forests and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I was so good. I remember I rocked up late somehow. I was a bit rattled, and I get there and I played my first track, and it was on 45 instead of 33. And that was like my welcome to DJ. I was like, Jesus, maybe you're not cut out. But I was working flat out. I was also doing extra shifts on the weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I was working extra shifts for cash. Back then, we used to pay cash, and they were 5 hours. They were 5 till 10, and then I'd go out after, and I'd be at raves. I'd be asleep, wake up at 1 a.m, go to the rave, go to the work. Like, people would go, "Didn't I just see you?" I said, "Yeah." Like, but I'm just woken up. So, I pushed the envelope a lot, and I thought I was pretty cool, but I probably wasn't, and. It wasn't a sustainable career. And then I started getting into it. I had a couple of incidents at work, which were wake-up calls in life. And, so that's I sort of focused on. I didn't get pushed to do it. But mind you, I had no help doing anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, did I form one? Fucking bad. Like, I want to be a DJ. Jojo on your own. No, like,
I want to be part of the family. Come on, son, I'll show you everything.
Yeah. So it's funny because I didn't quite pick up on it at the time, but I look back on it now, sort of got funneled in. And then in the end, I worked out I love retailing. I love dealing with customers. I love dealing with people and the teams, whether it's a good situation or bad. I like dealing with people most of the time. Sometimes I can't be bothered dealing with them, then I just don't answer my phone. But now it's different, right? But the hard work has been laid, and now I'm now fortunate enough I can be at home to pack the kids' lunch boxes in the morning. I can be home to see them before they're in bed. All of these things I can do because Dad sacrificed what he did. And, I look at the kids of today, and I think they may be a bit piss weak to be able to handle that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more.
For that
100%.
resilience factor.
Yep.
And I didn't realise it at the time, but because I was on the go the whole time, I just kept on putting. And I to this day, I think other than COVID, I got COVID and I couldn't go to work.
Yep.
Like, if COVID wasn't around, I would have gone to work. I just couldn't talk. I felt fine, but I couldn't talk. It was great. I was mountain biking every day. But I haven't had a sick day. I think I've had 2 sick days in 30 years.
Yep.
And I've worked full time my whole life. So, and those sick days have only been recent, since bloody kids actually. And sometimes now I'm in a position, if the wife calls and I have to go home, I can do it. And that couldn't have happened if it wasn't for the hard work that my dad had done, but for that I had done.
Yep.
Because I've done every role in that business, so no one can sit there and go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
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 So that to me is the key. Too many times you hear of, businesses, go to uni and then come back. And, the things I'm learning at uni are not new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning more on the business. And me being out of that business for 6 months, 2 months, I'm falling behind.
Yep.
So we made a call. I did business courses like associate diplomas in business and marketing and
Enough
things.
to know your shit.
Well, yeah, but now you just YouTube it.
Yep.
Now there's so many
Download
tools
an Excel
now.
course off the internet and it's all there ready to go.
And if I have to type something, just go chat GPT. Like, done. Homework done. Kids, you should see me at home. Kids are doing a thing on cactus. No problem. Chat GPT, 200 words, written by a 9-year-old. Done. Like, there you go. Oh, Dad, that's heaps quicker than Mum. Yeah, it is. So for me, it's I've worked hard my whole life, and for the people that say stuff about me on comments, that they don't know me, and I don't give a fuck because the people around me are the people I listen to.
Yeah, and you've sacrificed that time, like you said. And I think a measure of wealth is not what you have or how much money's in the bank, but the time that you're able to afford with those that are closest to you. And it sounds like you're much the same with me. You value that time, getting up in the morning to pack the lunch boxes or be available if the wife calls because she needs help, to be in the position now where you can drop things and run away to do that. And I face that at the moment. People struggle with the jealousy of that. Like, well, he's just running away. There's something else more important. But it's not about that. It's about I've built myself into the position where we can be able to do things when people don't see the work that gets done away from the desk that's got your name on it, basically.
Is that like the Wednesday afternoon golf sessions that you have with Cody?
Exactly right. Yep. Wednesday afternoon golf sessions.
I go past Lee works at Pro Karts. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Lee works at Pro Karts Paraka. He manages the place. What
happens there? What's Pro Karts?
So we do rental go-karting.
So like for competing?
No, so we do have a race team. So if you do want to drive another race go-kart,
I haven't.
You're more than welcome to come and have a go.
A kart for around the warehouse.
Yeah, it's just like riding a bike.
That's
You'll pick it up
dangerous.
pretty quick. But it's more like the Kart Mania style stuff. So we have an outdoor track and some go karts and stuff. So you come, you bring your team down or whatever for a corporate day or a work shindig or something like that, and we provide everything for you. But otherwise, like I said, we do have the race team building as well, where we've got access to race carts and we do all the maintenance and stuff like that as well. But yeah, like Jamie was saying, I manage that place, and we have the director and myself. We go out and have our weekly business meeting, which is on the golf course, because we get away from work. We take all the stuff, all the distraction away, and it becomes a very, very profitable time.
It's very Japanese. That's how they generally like to conduct their businesses, are through playing golf.
Yep.
What? He's Japanese.
No. Can't you tell?
Can you tell?
I was a bit confused. What did you say?
I said it's very Japanese in terms of how they conduct their...
God, I was a bit worried. I wasn't worried. I'm just like surprised.
Yeah, no, I went past the shop to drop off some tyres and stuff, and I said, is Lee around? Oh, no, he's gone for a round of golf. I look at the clock, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, what a... Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
That's the ticket. Have you been to the electric go-kart joint?
I actually helped build that place. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I love it. I'm not having a go at Paraka, but I've taken my girls there and they love it. And I got one girl that's my eldest. She's quite keen. We went out to the go-kart event at the Bend, not the Bend. It was at Monado.
The Australian titles this year.
It was something, I'm not sure. But what blew me away is half the field was female.
Yep.
I was like, and my daughter saw that and she goes, and then she saw a video. Someone released a video of girls can be as fast as boys. I was like, fuck yes, you can. I think motorsport is where girls can be fast.
Yeah.
As fast, no different whether you're male or female.
Well, I say, my thing is, if you have a look at sport as a whole, motorsport is the only sport where men and women compete at the same time, in the same field, against each other.
Except in F1.
Except for in F1, yeah.
Yep.
And until such time, yeah.
Why?
Yeah. No one's had the backing yet. I think
can't believe it. I can't believe some cashed up American rednecks wouldn't bloody get
behind that Jamie Chadwick, who's won the W Series 4 times in a row,
or Gracie.
Renee. She comes with plenty of backing now.
I'd get behind Renee Gracie. Just saying, I think
he's probably got more mass to turn into muscle to support the neck and stuff.
You know what though? to be
I don't
fair,
know how to take that.
oh god, yeah, doors open shut right there. But I've got to say though, to her credit, like if you hear a story about how she was literally on the bones of her ass because she didn't have the money to race, she left the sport in such a state, like financially she barely had enough money to buy a pair of shoelaces. And so I think the saddest part is that OnlyFans, like fortunately for her, she's made a really good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's turned her life around.
I'm all for it.
You know, but I also think that to some degree, for her to go down that path and that was the only option that turned her life around, for me, I kind of sort of take a step back and I think, I look at it in two ways. Good on her for doing it, and she's invested wisely. She's got a property portfolio now. She's got a lifestyle that she's only dreamed of, and it's brought her back into the sport. But on the flip side, I think, surely there's got to be a better way than that. You know,
well, there's nothing wrong with that.
But there's nothing wrong with it at the same time. Like, you know, it's you're conflicted on that front.
OnlyFans. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, if you want to talk about OnlyFans.
I think it's great. If someone wants to post things and people want to pay for it and they're aware of their audience, I think that's fine.
Yep.
And they control what they're posting. Like, it's not like some sex tape or, you know, if they do want to do that, they're controlling it. And I actually support that if someone wants to do it. Now, I got asked if your girls, and they're very young, wanted to do that, let's say they were old enough, I would be very conflicted in it because people think, it's all porn. It's not all porn. You know, people are doing stuff with their ears, stuff with their feet. And I think this might be the time to announce. I reckon this might be the time to announce. I'm going to do an OnlyFans page.
Are you really? Yes. How good.
So
is this what we need to look for on the front page of the Advertiser tomorrow?
Look, I haven't told anyone except for my team who are vehemently against this, but it's not.
We're talking Jam or Drake's team?
Or both.
Drake's. She's Drake's team just there. So I want to do something that's not. Look, I don't want to tell people what it's about because there might be some very happy people and some very sad people.
Yeah, but it's a subscription platform. It's not necessarily a porn platform. It's
Correct.
a subscription
and that's
platform.
That's the part.
Yeah.
When I started, I had to do some research. I was just recently, I did a podcast with Tilled Search, and I was blown away. And obviously, I had to subscribe and do the proper research. And I was blown away that people are doing cooking videos, people are doing driving instructionals, and I was like, I got something, but you'll wait until it's released because I'm sure you guys will.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I am very intrigued.
Yeah, there's a few people that are intrigued. Some are interested, but I said, let's have a play because it won't be porn. Just put it down.
I'm upset now.
But there might be plenty of stuff with an eggplant.
I can't imagine you with a zucchini either.
Well,
It's got a very, very
for your mind to be blown away. But let's talk about why isn't there a chick in Formula One?
What are your thoughts on it? Like,
All for it, 100%.
Yeah, I'm all for it too.
I think it would be why. I got a couple of Madeline Stewart.
Yep.
Like I saw. She's a cool chick too, and she stops and talks to her, and her mum loves me. But you talk to her, and you see, okay, she was racing in the Porsche. I don't know what division it was, Porsche something.
Porsche North America.
No, in Australia.
She raced in the Carrera Cup.
Yeah, and she was in second place, and there was another chick in fourth place.
Yep.
And whoa, this is
This is very
Very
intimate
mood
setting.
lighting. Yeah.
This
Hello.
is mood lighting. Just if anyone's listening, we have just gone dark here. But
Yeah.
we've got one halo.
I've got a halo light.
light.
One podcast halo light, so it's very nice in here.
Andy's out to go and turn the lights back on.
So
but,
when you watched them watch her race, like I can't tell it's a male or a female.
Oh, of course.
Like for me, it's like this is the sport where there should be no difference.
It's interesting you say that. So to answer your question on that, and this is only, so MotoGP on the weekend announced that in 2024 they're actually going to have a Women's World Championship, and so which is amazing. It's fantastic, but it's the mentality of how they've introduced it is that they're not going to be MotoGP level bikes. They're probably going to be maybe superbike spec, if at best. But then also, when they were fronting and having the news conference, it was still male dominant. So the biggest issue that,
Well, hang on.
which is not
You're
not
gonna
good.
get that though,
Yeah.
because they're more males
Yeah,
riding.
but with it, and this was from MotoGP's website, Autosport. Their view is, well, it's still showing where the sport's at in the respect that why wasn't there a woman there representing the W Series when they were making the announcement?
Well,
But then also the biggest issue is grassroots. There's no women in grassroots motorcycling to then promote it at that level. There's a few racing, but not to the volume at the moment that will make it sustainable.
but let me get it. If you're a woman, you can drive anything in any class.
Yeah.
I think for driving. I don't know about the MotoGP. I mean, they're another sort of crazy, those ones, but.
Yeah.
You would think that's just poor form on their behalf. You know, how dumb's that? You're announcing a league and you don't have your
woman
drivers,
Exactly
your
right.
riders.
Yeah.
But I really think it's a sport, and I cannot believe they haven't jumped on the bandwagon for introducing a female, not team. It's got to be the driver. Like, you know, there's heaps of pit people that are female. Is there in F1?
There's heaps of pit female, like female, the
Red
chief
Bull strategist.
Red Bull strategist is a female. There's lots of people with Aston Martin that work on the pit team that are female. And then there's lots of female drivers, like they had the W Series with
Carmen
Jorda and Sophia
Lindsay.
Flörsch and Lindsay Marie Brewer. So, like,
These are all
what is
very
stopping
attractive
them?
women, by the way. What is that? Why is that? Because they've been marketed.
Possibly.
See.
But also, like, if you think even further, I can't think of anyone that's not overly attractive. That's, you wouldn't look at anyone and think that she's rubbish.
Lance Stroll.
Yeah, she's a pretty bad looking Sheila.
Just saying.
What do you think is the barrier that stopped? Like, we've had women get into Formula 2, then they've not shown good results. Like, what do you think is that barrier into Formula 1?
I think it goes back to father-sons. I think it goes back many generations of, you have kids until you have a boy, and then that boy will race if you race. You look at all the pedigree for Formula 1, it's all pedigreed together. I mean, bloody hell. Daniel Ricciardo's dating Gerhard Berger's daughter.
Yep.
Like, so it's very...
Verstappen's dating...
And Verstappen's Nelson
PK's,
PK and Daniel Kvyat's ex.
Yep.
Fuck. Max. Expect better from you.
Stole his car, then stole his girl.
Stole his drive. Then
Do
his
you really,
woman.
though?
Baggage. He put baggage with him. But, for me, I think it goes back that far. And then you look at parents of today's era and they've got that go-karting, grassroots, 50% of the field female. I'm like, my girls were like, oh, girls can do this. Fucking oath, girls can do this, girls. Girls can do anything.
Right.
And that's what I...
Yeah.
That's what I say to my kids, and I think it's generational, and I think the grassroots is happening now, and all those girls, they're quite hot actually. Now you think about it, they are, but when they get results, who gives a fuck? And Madeline, she got bumped off the track, ended up getting fourth on that race. That was at Sydney Motorsport, and I was like, look at this. This is definitely a great sign. And she's over in the States racing some
Porsche North America at the moment.
like on some interesting tracks. I don't know, mate. I don't know what they're doing over there, but it looked like it was in cross country or something.
I think
Sebring or something.
I think so. It's flowed from generations ago, And now that dads of today's era are like, well, fuck, my daughter can do this,
Yep.
and I've got the money to get the,
Push it
the
there.
career started, and whereas they might not have done that before.
Yep.
And I think it's amazing, and I'm excited.
Well,
We
when
see
you
it on-
want to
yeah.
take your daughter's career and put her into a go-kart, you know where to come. We've got all the
Mate,
stuff ready to go for
I
you.
can tell you, yeah, my Elle, she's very like determined, like resilience factor extremely high on the river. You know, I think she's only 9, but she can wakeboard, wake skate, wake surf, wake ski, and it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
But if she's got a chance to show off,
She'll
she's
do
in the
it.
water.
Yeah, nice.
It's freezing cold like that. It's okay, Dad. I got that. Lips are blue. Yeah. And she won't get out until she gets up. And that, where my other one gets up, yeah, done it, Dad, done. All right, I'm going to the spa. And it's like totally different. But I can see that, okay, you know, driving's quite difficult. Like it looks pretty easy. Accelerate. Can't be that hard.
You're just
You
sitting
know?
on your ass all day.
But, you know, you watch, someone did a T-shirt the other day of Max Verstappen's lap times, and they were all 0.2 of a second out for 47 laps. That is incredible. That's going through traffic. Oh, he probably didn't have traffic.
Not for the last half of the
Not
race.
for the last half of the race.
Yeah, so you look at something like that, and that's quite remarkable. Max
Yeah.
Verstappen is a freak.
Yep.
And there is no doubt he will break. He may be the greatest Formula One driver of all time.
Yeah, I think Lewis has got some watching out to do. He will, as long as the Red Bull give him a good car, Max will break Lewis's records.
100%.
You're driving me to drink.
100%. But I don't want to get off the women's in motorsport because I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know Courtney does a woman in motorsport. They do where they go to the F1 and they encourage women. And I know Jam Motorsport's got a couple of women pit crew now.
Yep.
Like the tide's turning.
I think,
and
yeah,
so
too,
it
yeah.
should be. Like I keep saying, you
Well-
know, I'm not in. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're right, mate. We've got 2 girls that race in the Ferrari Club karting team. That Ileana.
Ferrari Club karting. Now that just sounds impressive.
Yeah, well,
It's not bad.
it's not bad.
What's the Ferrari Club karting team?
All right,
So is this the one in Europe?
no, not quite. So the Scuderia Ferrari Club Adelaide was
listen to this guy. Hey? He's Italian, just in case anyone's not aware.
Yeah, yes, I studied.
Let's talk about Ferrari.
Well,
All right, no, let's wait.
yeah, let me
There's
There's
nothing
nothing
to
to talk about.
You're right. See, we talked about Ferrari and we're going to knock V out. The boards dropped. But the Ferrari Club was started about 7 years ago. It's an official fan club of the Ferrari Formula One team.
Okay.
And so in that time, probably
There's
about...
been lots of tears.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, well, can't say I'm great.
No triumphs.
No triumphs, no. But about 5 years ago, we started a racing team which was there to represent the club. So we run a hire kart championship, which is how I met Lee all those years ago. And the racing team was meant to be the next step for those that want to go from racing a hire kart series to, a proper racing team. So that was our entry into club karting. And then about 2 years ago now, when I took over the club presidency, one of the things that I wanted to do was actually get some youth in the team, because we had some members that have gone on to start their own team and everything else. So there were 2 girls, one Ocean Colangelo. She was a massive Ferrari fanatic, and she'd put a little YouTube video out. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this kid can drive. But then also she was showing Ferrari, paraphernalia, and I'm thinking, why as a club, why as a club have we not got someone like that in the team or as part of the club? But she can drive. And so Ileana Ostojic, who we talked about off air, was Ocean's good friend, and they raced and hung out together. So I said, we'll get them both.
How old are we talking? Because Ileana looks like really young.
She's like 9
or 10, yeah. And Ocean's probably 13 now.
Yep.
And I saw them race. Ocean, very intense, lovely girl, softly spoken, but an amazing little driver. Biggest shortcoming for her is budget. Ileana is still learning the ranks, but she's come on in leaps and bounds too. So to have those little girls as part of the team was amazing, because we rode their success, and over time you'd see their growth, and they take it to like some of the boys, like younger guys, that get on the podium and they'd be beaten by, say, Ocean or Liliana, man, the looks on their faces when you see the photographs and stuff, they were uber pissed. Uber pissed.
It's cool though.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I think it's. I'm a big supporter of it, and that's why I do have a couple of real young kids follow me. And I was like, and I started to go, well, they're trying to get into karting. Well, not trying, they're in karting.
Yep.
And it made me. I got a mate, Henok, which his kid is trying to get his boys into F1, and unfortunately for everyone else, he does have a budget. And
What was his name, sorry?
Ben Henok.
Okay.
Henok Racing.
Yeah, they from Queensland. Yeah, so they race at the national championships.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
And so he is having a crack, and his boys are pretty young, like just, and I see that and I think, fuck, and when you go to those meets though, it's very competitive because every person there thinks their kid is going to be the next Formula One champion.
Mm-hmm. Cadet dad. Yep.
Cadet dad. So when the kids race, they're classed as cadets. So cadet 9 and cadet 12 are the two kid classes. Yeah. And so the over enthusiastic dads who are just
they're
pouring
having
it in.
punch ups.
It's a soap opera, isn't it?
I've gone and Ben's pretty crazy at the best of times, but one boy's psychopathic, the other one's a mini psychopath. And he bumped me, and I'm like, it's cool, boys. And I'm like, then the other parents come over, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, relax. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very competitive. Because like you said, everyone thinks that their son's going to ride on the back of their one result in an Australian title.
Daughter, bitches.
Yeah, son or daughter is going to ride on the coattails of their one result and make it to Formula One.
Yep.
Well, and I know he's just bought his kid an F4. He's not old enough to drive that yet, but he's going to try and get into that. They're trying to get into the Ferrari. That's why when you mentioned that, I thought they're trying to get to the Ferrari
Driver Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, he has a budget.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately think that motorsport favours the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I 100% agree with that.
Not all of us can marry Lawrence Stroll's daughter. No, they can't.
No.
Just like Scotty's.
Scotty James just did on the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so it's a tough industry. I think it's brutal. I think it's very tough. And motorsport, fucking hell, you have highs, but Jesus, you have lows. And it's an interesting sport. I used to work when I was away, like, because I'd be sneaking off for the Friday, and then I'd take my work with me, and then I'd go back and then go into the pit area and start my emails, and then I realised I just can't do it.
Yep.
Like, I cannot focus on trying to do work, which I don't know, is it the different side of the brain? I'm not sure, but I couldn't do it. So I then thought, no, I'll just stop doing that. Started getting some training, some coaching, and then I just improved. Getting coaching changed the way that I drive big time.
We've kind of probably skipped a step here, but obviously we talked about karting obviously earlier, so there was obviously a passion for motorsport, but then where did it come back to motorsport? Like what drew you to going,
this is a good question.
I'm going to get back into motorsport now? Where did that come from?
So I had a friend up the river, Steers, which we were friends with, and Steer.
Aaron?
No, the dad.
I don't know his name.
Oh my God.
Let's call him Dad Steers.
Daddy Steer.
Yeah, let's
Dad
just
Steers.
go. And he said, I got these cars, you should come and try. And I always liked driving. Like, I lost F1 when Ferrari kept on winning everything. So it lost me.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, correct. But it sort of lost me. It was too boring. Like Max this year, it's going to be boring, right?
Like Lewis for the last 8. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
so at least now there's more cars up the front. It's a bit more exciting, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, I got these West Racing, Greg Steer. He said, you come out and drive on. I'm like, yeah. And I've been working my whole life. I'd earn, same money as anyone else. And, I was pretty good with my money, had a couple of good investments. My share portfolio was good. Even from a young age, I bought shares. Did really well in crypto. Like, I was one of the real lucky guns to make money there. Mm-hmm. And then I said, all right, I can sort of afford this maybe. He said, come out for a test day. Went to Malala. I drove a West. It was a WX10. I literally went out of the pits at Malala, went around the corner, accelerated on the straight, and I was like, holy fuck.
I'm in.
It was exactly the same feeling I got when I was in the go-kart.
Yeah.
And I was like, did 5 laps, I think. 5 laps. It was so like I came back in. I said, I've got to do this.
Yep.
And he sort of asked how much is it to lease a car, and like I didn't want to buy a car because I didn't know how I'd race, and so I leased a car, and literally was at the back of the field the whole time. So this is about 10 years ago. So I was mid-30s. I decided to start driving when I had my first kid.
Perfect time. Yeah.
Stress release.
But Natalie still reminds me, and at the time I didn't think of it at all. So I was having a kid, and so I went away for some rounds, and it was probably a very selfish thing to do. Now I look back on it, I didn't at the time, but I've learnt so much in the last 10 years that I've become such a better person around home. Whereas I didn't think of it at all. But I've had a few examples pointed out to me that maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. And I look at it and I go, okay, I don't regret it at all, but I could have been a better person.
Yeah.
And so I started racing. I went and leased a car for a year. That cost, it was back then, it was about $6,000 a round.
Yep.
In what we were driving, that was pretty cheap when I compare it to the GTs or the Porsche Cup. And then I did another year of leasing, and then I bought a second-hand West WX10. And that was cool. Motorbike engine. I don't know I think it was a Kawasaki. I'm not sure what engine it is. And then I loved it. So it was in the prototype series, and back then we were racing with motorbikes. Actually, we had some GP rounds with the MotoGP.
Yep.
And they had cars there, which I don't know, it seems a bit weird. But they're motorbike engines.
Motorbike engines.
And most bike guys don't like cars. I think car guys don't mind bikes, but bike people hate car people. So then we started to. I had that car for a few seasons. At the time, Wes was looking after it. And then Aaron had a fallout with West Racing, and it was an ugly fallout, and it was horrible because their shack is like 5 shacks down from us.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, it's Greg or it's Aaron. Back then, Aaron wasn't going to start anything. And I was like, then Aaron goes, oh, if we do something, would you support it? And I said, yeah, cool. So Mark Lauke, myself, we said, we'll support you. We'll pay our bills on time.
Yep.
And that gave them the opportunity to start racing. So, so JAM stands for, I don't know what it does, but I'm pretty sure it's JP, Mark Lauke. No, JP, Aaron and Mark. That's what I think, but I have no idea. Actually,
Maybe you're doing a breaking story. We might have to follow this up with Aaron.
But I was like, yeah, I'll pay my bills on time.
Or maybe they cut you out of it and it was just Aaron and Mark to start with.
Trust me. No money comes my way. It freaking is like a funnel to JAM Motorsport. Aaron Steer, like I said before, he's got deep pockets and short arms. So for me, that's that progression over 10 years. So that started doing state round things, which were quite cheap or quite affordable.
Nothing's cheap in motorsport.
And then the prototype series was an option, and we said, okay, do you guys want to run the prototype series as shareholders? So Matt, Chris, Lauke, myself, Phil Hughes, Terry Piavitas, we own Australian Prototype Series. You paid a token fee for your shares, and then we try to control the narrative of what is now the Australian Prototype Series, which has been nothing but put money into.
You've got to water the plant for it to grow.
Oh my God. But, the speeds we go, the times we do, we are most of the time the fastest cars on the track. Less Formula 3 there. A good Formula 3 person will be quicker, but the average ones are not quicker.
So
And, our cars have developed wildly. Like I've gone from an engine, from a motorbike, and to, I've got a full carbon monocoque cockpit, FIA rear front crash box. You feel, I got Halo, and the Halo was a big decision to go, okay, I'll need safety. I'm older than... Not Mark Lauke. Oh my God, it's a dream to be 70-something years old and lapping as fast as he is. And we all look at that and go, I hope I'm doing that at that age. And we got with the cars now, Dr. Chin Win Lui, he turns around and he goes, mate, Halo, safety, buy it. And I said, mate, there's no spare parts here. So we have got a shared spare parts list with Chinwin and I. Engine and he's got the left side, I've got the right side, and we just hope we both don't hit each other. So we both think both sides will be all right, but we hope that we don't need them at the same time.
Yeah,
and that's what got me into motorsport. I love it. Like I absolutely love motorsport. As soon as I can muck around till the cows come home, but as soon as I shut my visor heading out the pits, game on.
Yeah,
and
you go into a different world. You're transformed into a different world, a different universe, and nothing else matters anymore once that visor goes down and you leave pit lane.
Yeah, I'm never thinking about what's for dinner tonight.
Yep.
I'm always thinking in the moment, and it's such an amazing feel. And the only other time I get that feeling is when I used to fly. When I got my pilot's license, and we were building a store near Caboolture Airfield in Queensland. I saw the airfield. Oh, might as well get my license. So I started,
Well, I'm here.
Oh my god. So I did. I went and got my I got my GFPT. So I didn't get my PPL in the end, because in the end I took my wife up. Perfect day. I could fly anywhere, and then it was the perfect day. Not the landing was perfect. Every blah blah blah. I hated it. I went, oh fuck! So I quit flying. So there's no point if you couldn't experience
that easy.
I've been in the plane shit scared, and I've been in the plane. And my instructor goes, oh, here's a little tip for you. I'd rather be down there wishing I was up there than up here wishing I was down there. And that set the scene, because there were so many close calls with flying small planes. And so Nat didn't like it. So I said, cool, I stopped doing it. I had got no idea meditating. Yeah, it's like you zone out for everything. And when you're making decisions, all you are thinking about is what's going on in these tiny little mirrors that are often facing the sky.
Yep.
Or
vibrating to crap and you can't see out of them. Yep.
And then what's going on with the cars in front, thinking, okay, I'm faster at this part of the track. I'm a bit slower at this part of the track. And then the games you play, I had you on that, like turn 4, 7, 9. Like, oh, did you? Like, then the games start. That's what I love. I love stirring the pot.
Not at all.
Your colour scheme is really unique. It's Batman derived, isn't it? You're like Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm did collect cartoons as a kid. I do like cartoons, but I don't, my cartoons are Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, far out. So I was a bit warped, I think. And then we got the car, and I've tried a couple of cool things. Like, I was originally had the design of the Falcon X, and I was going to have an astronaut suit. And I thought, white astronaut suit, look cool. Yeah. And then when the car rocked up, the carbon stitching looked amazing, and it was black carbon, and I thought, what can I do for this? Like I want to keep the carbon. I don't want to fully wrap it because I like the look of it.
Carbon looks amazing.
The car looks so hot. Yep. Like I love it, and it looks hot too. So I went, okay, maybe I could be, because everyone said Batman. Everyone said, it's typical. You should go Batman. And I went, maybe the Joker driving the Batmobile is pretty funny. So there it was born. The Joker driving the Batmobile, because I'm around the track. Most people know who I am because I'll talk to anyone, anytime, and just walk up and down like I own whatever track we're at. and people just buzz out. Like I know people go, who the fuck's that? Like they have no idea who I am, and they'll give me the mic and I can go interview people. And I love it. So I went, okay, we're going to do the Joker. So I rang up my mate Nick Comedy from Exotic Graphics in Melbourne, and that guy there is the freak of design of everything. He designed one of my first suits where I had a cape with a D on it. Like, so he designed all that, and people were like, what is that? You're wearing a cape at a distance. It looked like it waved. and Nick's one of my mates. So he wrapped, I got the LFA, and I just got it. And he said, I've got the House of Paint exhibition. Can we wrap your LFA? I went, fuck yeah, sure. All right, just got it. And what colour? And then in the end, we decided chrome. Yeah. And it was fucking baller. Like, it went to this show and everyone thought it was painted. And Nick was like one of these guys. So Nick ends up being the world rapping comp winner 2 years in a row from Melbourne. He's based in Exotic Graphics, and he beat all the West Coast custom guys, all of those guys, 2 years in a row for wrapping cars. So good pedigree, Nick. I want to do a car, and he goes, "Fucking hell, another non-paid gig, JP." Like, and he's a champion bloke. He's a little, I call him the Smurf. He's about this big. And he then said, "All right, what do you think?" And I said, "Oh, Joker." He said, "All right." He goes, "All right, Joker. All right, let's go old school, 70s, 80s, which is the purple outfit."
Yep.
And I went, "All right." And then the car, and he said, we couldn't really. The car was tough." And then I said, "Oh, well, how about ha ha ha?" Ha ha, yeah, perfect. So then Jam actually cut out the ha ha ha's and put them around the car and in the chrome. And then the insert for my headrest, I don't know what they're called. They're probably called something. When I took a photo, every time I took a photo, what colour? And he goes, "Fucking hell, mate." He goes, "Do you want me to design the car?" Because he technically didn't do the car. So I went purple with that, and it just looks mint. Yeah. And the helmet was done by Jay Medlin. And it's bonkers.
It's
like,
mad,
why so serious? Like, it's so bonkers. And it's like, and JPD, it looks like JPD. And people go, "Oh, is that your logo?" It's his. And I said to Jay, I said, "Mate, everyone thinks that's my logo." He goes, "Oh, you can use it. It's fine." He's just a champion guy and designed the sickest. He's exactly what I wanted. So, I've got a new car coming.
Oh, sick.
Ooh, nice.
What are we talking now?
Well, fuck, I'd hardly had that car, but someone else in the series burnt their car down, and I wanted to keep them racing in our series, so I said I'll get a new car. So
Yeah.
You're one of the Wolf F1s coming?
I got the same car.
Yeah, okay, the same one. Yep.
I haven't gone the Wolf F1 Extreme, which is the V8. It is so fast. It will cause problems in our category because our category is the Australian Prototype Series, and we're trying to get people so we can race together, and so we have BOP, and it's very difficult. We got turbo, we got V8s, we got all sorts of cars, we got bike engines. So
is there a guy, is it Ben Cheney, that races as well?
Lucky Ben, he got to share a room with me.
I used to race.
Yeah, it was cost cutting.
I've got a story about Ben. So
there would be no stories about that guy. He is the weirdest thing it had. It looked a bit gay. There's nothing wrong with that. But him and I were having a spa together at Phillip Island. And people were like looking at us like, and the spa was like the size of 4, 5, 6 meters, and it was huge. Yeah. And there was a couple outside the spa that it was freezing cold.
Yeah.
And I said to Ben, I said, "What the hell are this couple doing?" And then after about 20 minutes, they go, "Oh, can we jump in?" And we're like, the spa is like the size of a pool. And we're like, "Oh my God, you guys sat out that time?" And I went, "Yeah."
They were thinking you were having some intimate moments.
Ben, he's a champion. He is such a nice guy. It looks like we're trying to rope him into the series.
Yeah. No. So does he work for Jam, or does he race?
No. He bought my old Wolf. He bought my CNGB08 Wolf.
Yep. The only reason why I know is I saw footage that you'd put up of the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, and I saw Ben, and I'm like, "Fuck, that's Ben."
Yeah.
I haven't seen him. So we used to race track bikes at the Velodrome years ago in sprinting.
Push bikes?
Yeah. So track sprinting.
Terrible.
So there's he actually
Actual
got
output.
Actual, yeah.
That's all we have motors for.
Yeah.
Mate,
you shouldn't have given it up, mate.
No. Oh no. For me it was kids. You're a bastard. I can't come back with that. I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
You're done.
No, so
You're going to tell a story
about
riding push bike.
Yeah.
Ben.
So
shame on you.
Ben made the South Australian, or he was training with the South Australian sprint cycling team, if I remember correctly. And he was either in the Talent ID squad for...
Really?
Yeah, in the Talent ID squad for... Now, he'll probably correct me on it, but it would be either SA or the Australian Institute of Sports. He was on the fringe. And when you look at him physically, you wouldn't think it, but he put out a lot of watts. Anyway, he was very, very early in the piece. There's a story of him complaining about the fact that the bike seat was uncomfortable. And if you're in cycling, you're wearing Lycra, you don't wear any underwear underneath the Lycra.
You?
No. You've got the chamois and you've got some, like a chamois.
What's the chamois to make your package bigger?
Some of them need it.
Some of them need it, but no, it's actually there
All
to
of
cushion
them
the seat.
need it. They're on a
Cushion the
push
seat.
bike.
Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Cushion the seat and soak up the butt
That's
sweat so you don't
debatable.
get chafing.
Pretty much exactly right.
So
And
what?
So
Instead of cushion the seat and
Seat.
soak up the butt sweat so you don't get chafing.
you don't get chafing. Yeah. So so Ben was actually complaining about saddle sores, and he's pulled his nicks down to get changed, and he's got layers of underwear on, and apparently he was the butt of the joke. He was the butt of the team, of the jokes of the team for probably a little while. He's probably never shared that story. He'll probably kill me and hunt me down.
I thought you were going to
um,
say he was hung like a donkey.
no, I never saw it. So I've just gone by what he says.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I got him into VR workouts because he would wake up every morning and there I am in my jocks doing a VR workout. And he was like...
Did you do PE with Joe? Was that your go-to?
No, I did Fit FX or Fit FX. Fit RX.
Yep.
Or Fit FX on the Oculus.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do the Les Mann one as well, but I do those as that's if I can't be bothered doing anything else, I do the VR workouts. They're
nice.
freaking awesome. And before racing, I do it for reaction to
Yeah.
get in the morning to get switched on.
Yep.
That's just I can't believe it. He's such a lovely guy. It was the first time we hung out at Zagami. Oh, this is a story about with Ben.
Yeah.
We're in Zagami at the Adelaide Motorsport, and the Zagami tent, whatever stable, whatever you call what do you call it? Yeah, like whatever it is, it's like a big thing. Like where I don't know, what do you call it?
The Zagami
Corporate
corporate
shindig.
house.
Yeah, the corporate. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the Zagami, and it is by far the best thing at the
It was pretty
Motorsport
impressive,
Festival.
yeah.
And it was awesome. The food was unbelievable. I'd highly recommend anyone to go there. And people are like, oh, it's a couple of grams, 3 grams. It's a bit, if you were going there and you weren't driving, you had the best view, had all the alcohol you could drink, the best food from some of the best restaurants in Adelaide, fully catered just for your box. It wasn't like a catered food. It was amazing. And Ben's like, oh, can I get there? I said, yeah, I'll sort you out. Fucking special price. So then next minute he goes, all right, I'll come over. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, Scott, can I get a deal for a mate? Yeah, no worries. We go in, we're at the coffee machine. First thing in the morning, I see all this security start to rock up, and I went, Bottas is coming. And he goes, what makes you say that? I said, he's fucking coming, and he's coming right here. He will come right here. And we're sitting there. Boom, Bottas gets out, goes straight to the coffee machine, and there's Ben and I sitting there
Ready to
talking.
go.
And I go, Mr. Bottas, what can I get you here? Flat white. I said, oh, you don't strike me as a flat white. And then we got a 10-minute conversation with Bottas
Nice.
at the coffee machine. And Ben was there, got selfies. And that's when you realise Bottas is an absolute legend.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
And talk about right place, right time. Then later that night, Stefan Johansson, the boys doing their historic Formula One series.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, we're going out to dinner, going to TKW. I said, mate, no, I'm not letting you go there for dinner. No, it's not happening. So got him into Concubine.
Oh, that's one of my favourite restaurants in Adelaide.
It's a great restaurant. And so I'm sitting there going, oh, you haven't been home all week. I said, I'm going, Ben. You need to fly the flag. He goes, really? And his missus was scared of getting COVID, or she was sick, said, don't come near me because the Melbourne F1 was the weekend
next
after.
yeah.
You stay in town by yourself. What a fucking wife that is. So he then goes out to dinner with Stefan Johansson, the
Bottas.
other guys doing... No, Bottas wasn't
Didn't
another one.
go.
Stefan Johansson, the guys that were doing a historic Formula One series from Dubai, Pierre. And he went out and he said, mate, unbelievable. And that's the sort of guy he is. He seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
And how are we talking about Ben? Ben's this is a Ben Love show.
No, I hadn't seen Ben for a very, very long time. The last time I'd seen him, he was racing around Malala in a worked 180B Datsun. And yeah,
Okay.
and I
Is
don't
he
know whether he's
selling
still got it.
No, he hasn't.
I've no
I've
idea.
had this conversation. He hasn't. He
Yeah.
hasn't got it.
And I didn't realise he was into motorsport.
Well, I don't know how. I've seen him a couple of times now because he bought my old Wolf. So I'm not sure, but yeah, he is. And so
The
he
Port
is.
Adelaide Cycling Club, his nickname was Lunchbox. So read into that what you will.
Wow.
There's
drop the
one
mic.
for you.
Boom.
Okay, moving right
along.
Moving right along. So where are you going to take... you've got plans for Prototype Series. Now, where is it heading? What's the goal, the ambition?
We've had some headwind. When I look at, we've had a few people running the show that weren't in the best interest of the series, and that's cost us a little bit. We do feel that in this day and age, there's too many fields, there's too many categories being introduced. That Formula
S5000?
The S5000, great car in a straight line. And, no one's thinking about this because that car isn't graded for any track in Australia, and we're just learning this. And we let an S5000 drive with us at Phillip Island.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to do some testing. He said he'd stick back and whatnot. And they're quick.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to make sure that there's a category, a national category for all prototypes to be able to race together in whatever category you are in our series. Now, does that open us for some, the open wheelers, the full open wheelers, like the Formula Series?
6, yep.
That's a little bit tougher because not all of our cars are open wheel. Some are open wheel, but some are like closed tunnel.
Yep.
We want them to have a place to race. And moving forward, people want to race people. They don't really care where they finish in what we're doing. We are not racing for a career in Formula One. Mind you, if kids want to come through our category, we would love that. Because the problem in Australia was people wanted to drive V8s because V8s get paid. I don't have to leave the country. I can be a big fish in a little welled pond, if that's a nice thing. So kids had that way forward. And we had the Ford, we had Holden. It made sense. But that's gone now. And, if you want a career in open wheeler, there's no Formula 3 National Series anymore, right?
Yep.
So you have to go overseas.
Yep.
And you have to go overseas before you've finished year 9. And you have to have parents that are loaded or someone that's going, I see something in you, Johnny. I'm going to see something in you, Jenny.
Fund you a few $1 million to go and try and make it.
To try and make it. And it's very difficult. And we went, okay, we need a prototype series. Now, you got the radical guys, and God bless their cotton little socks. But the radical guys need to be working with us, and I hope they listen to this because our categories together would be the ultimate in Australian prototype series. But when you've got a lot of conflict with the radical category, it causes us drama. It causes us dramas because you got people in the radical camp that won't race in the Australian prototype series just because of their ego. Where all parties would win, and I don't own a race team, so, the Jam Motorsports, the GWRs of the world, they would make more money by having the category pushed together, where in the Australian Prototype Series, you would have your Radical Cup, which the Radical Cup is an SR3. I mean, they've now produced about 7 cars since, the SR10, SR8. Like, they can't race in that single format Radical Series. So give them a series to drive in. That's why we are going down that frontier. We're open-minded. We're thinking about the future. And if that means having categories with multiple categories. Now, I'm not an expert, but the Le Mans has got 4 to 6 categories in one race.
Yep.
Wow. You can do it. So we should have the radicals. We should have the prototypes turbo, the prototype non-turbo, the radical, and then any other car that wants to bloody race should be in the one. And
the spectacle is how many cars are on track. It's not necessarily what's on track. It's how many cars are on track.
Exactly. And I hate to say it. It pains me to... I am a team owner. I just remember.
I was just about to pull you up on this. I was going to say, I've actually heard that you are a team owner and that there's some very interesting bets going on with your drivers.
Oh.
We can touch on that after if you want to finish your point about radical.
So for me, people want to race someone. And in our category, we want people to be bums on seats, and the bigger the grid, the better off. Whether that grid's 60, which seems that's a bit of a ridiculous number, but we've had anywhere from 25 down to 8.
Yeah.
And if we combine the radicals together, you guarantee you'd have 40 to 30 people on the grid every race, all racing for something.
Yeah.
And all the costs come down because they're not racing their series, and we're doing some. They can do their own series as well, but we should have joint ones together.
Yeah.
And that's why motorsport, it's become tougher in motorsport. No one's got it's more expensive to do anything, eat food.
Yep.
Have a race team. Everything has gone up,
and everyone wants their own slice of the pie, but the pie's not big enough. And I look back at the IndyCar versus kart thing, like way back 90s, early thousands, and there's lessons to be learnt there. It's back into one group because having the two didn't work. They were basically the same as prototypes and radicals, almost the same car, slight differences. But yeah, like I fully agree with you. Like you guys got to be working together because more cars on track, more people are going to watch the event, more chance for sponsorship investment, and everybody wins.
Yeah, and that also devalued the Indy 500 there for a long time too. Like the Indy 500 was the race to do in America, and when they had that separation, it was IRL and that was it, and it just lost the appeal because it just had domestic drivers. There wasn't that big international sort of flavour in it, and it's only really kind of restored its prominence in the last 3 or 4 years since the Penske takeover of kart.
Yeah, I think people need to get rid of the ego and come together with a plan. Yep. Motorsport Australia got to stop producing categories into this bloody country. It's ridiculous. And who owns those S5000s? Does someone?
Supercars.
Gary Rogers
runs them and builds them and owns a fair bit of them through Pace and stuff.
Pace.
Or you might watch a race of 6 cars.
Yeah.
Like, boring.
They sound shit too. Like, they're loud, but
they're loud.
They're loud.
Everyone wants a loud car. They sound better than Formula 1 cars.
But you can make a fart loud if you put the right speakers to it, but it doesn't mean it sounds good.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of no more categories, please.
Yep.
Let the I wish they should join the categories together, and then the TV rights would be better. There's multiple players doing streaming, the online streaming,
KO and stuff like that.
The Stan K, like they did an amazing job. And when I watched my footage, I'm pretty impressed with myself. The Stan footage made. I wish I've got to get that footage because I thought I was pretty damn good watching that. And I had some mates come around the other day. I said, let's just watch this race. Didn't say anything. I go, fuck's sake, that's you. But it looked legitimate. Yeah. And we need, as motorsport, it's tough. And I'm sure people can't get sponsors out there because the dollar has tightened up with everyone unless you're super lucky or you find a freak that really likes motorsport and wants to have a crack.
Yep.
And if you don't have that in your series, it's very hard to be successful. And I think who's done a good job of it, the TCRs, they've done a great job, but far out, they have spent some money paying drivers to drive. Like, it's a bloody Hyundai on steroids, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
but
that's a bit.
But what they've got is it's a world formula. Like it's not like where they're driving a supercar, but then they can't go overseas and drive the exact same car. Like you see with Ben Barguana, he's just got back from Portugal driving the exact copy of what he's been driving in Australia. So it's not like you've got to go there relearn a whole car. You jump into something that's exactly the same, and I think that is good for sport in Australia. I'm a big fan of TCR.
Yeah, they're actually cool to watch too. So that's what people want because
close,
the grids,
it's passing, there's big
grids are big, and we're going to get onto this subject in a minute. But.
Yeah. Now, the concern I have about that series in particular is, I mean, Stan do a great production, but it's the money, like not enough people are watching it.
Yeah,
and
that's the part I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's because it's behind another paywall. Everyone's got Foxtel for supercars, but they don't want to buy another paywall for Stan for TCR.
Unless you've got one of those fancy little sticks that's got all the subscriptions and stuff.
Illegal.
Illegal.
Yeah, I've heard about this, but that's the problem. So how does that get fixed? Because I see with us, we're not looking for sponsorship dollars. We would love them, but we want to build the grid so people can race. And when you finish your race, you get back into the pits and the excitement of people, whether they're second to last, middle of the pack or the front, the excitement of, fuck, I had that duel, I went backwards and forwards, I overtook you here. And you're thinking in your mind, you have driven like Ayrton Senna. And then you watch your footage and you're like, oh, shit,
that wasn't all that good.
I overtook 2 people. It looked good on camera. But That's what we want.
Yep.
And if we could get juniors through that stepping stone, like we bend on Wolf overseas, so we've been talking to Wolf in Italy. Can they have a series where they bring 5 drivers over? We take 5 drivers over there. And if we had a series where a junior kid was coming through, that we could get them over there as the drive, and then they have to make their own drives after that. But you could get a foot in the door.
Yep.
That's what we're trying.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Well, that's what we're trying to introduce. And it's been disappointing that F3s has gone, because F3s was that category. And we have to pick up the pieces. And there's another F4's gone as well.
Yep.
Another, let's just kill off prototype series. So I understand we're a bit of a, the prototypes get kicked to the curb. We don't even get garages when we rock up at events, and our cars are this low off the ground, and then your cars always break down. They're
because we've got to drive them through spoon drains to get to the track.
Highly tuned cars, like they are prototype cars, and it's really hard to get the psyche, because the other problem is V8s don't want you to be faster than them, and we are. And they don't like that. It's not a good look. That cheap
or more exciting to watch.
And look, like the amount of kids that come over, they're blown away with the look of the prototype. And I'm very biased to the prototype, so don't get me wrong, but we need to make sure that if it's viable moving forward, it needs to be together. Yep. And the categories need to be expanded, and everyone needs to get on.
Yep.
And it's that simple.
What's the budget involved in racing? So, and my following question will lead into your team ownership. So there's people that are leaving karting, especially bitumen karting, that are wanting to go and race cars, and they decide to go into the XL series.
Yep.
And
which
so
you're a proud team owner in.
Yeah, which you're a proud team owner in. And so, but they do it they actually say that it's cheaper to run a Hyundai XL over the course of the year than what it is to run a 2-stroke go-kart competitively at a higher level domestically in the country, which is somewhat sad. So if they wanted to get into... So it's somewhat sad in the respect that a go-kart is grassroots, but yet a car is actually cheaper to run than a 2-stroke go-kart.
Yeah, mate, from what I've seen with these go-karts...
Yeah.
Like, they come in bloody boxes, they're not meant to be touched, and people are spending... how much is an expensive go-kart engine build?
Oh, yeah. So if you want one that's proven race winner, you could fork out 10 grand for a go-kart. That retails for 3-4 off the shelf.
Yep.
That to me is staggering, because then people go into Hyundai, oh, it's great. Like, Hyundai has done very well.
Big grids. They get big grids.
How reluctant are you right now saying that?
He's just writing himself a reminder to say, never say that again.
Never say that again. Yeah.
So I've got a couple of funny Hyundai stories, but we got a young kid that's an editor, and like he goes, he's got no money, but he's got an XL, and I was like, oh yeah, you go race, and I was like, I go, mate, it looks boring. Oh, it looks boring. So he goes, we'll get 40 on the grid. I went, fuck, really?
Yep. Yeah.
Every day, race.
And I was like, okay, let's make this a bit fun. He was new to Drake, so I said, I'll do a deal with you. I'll bet you that I'll pay for your season racing in the Hyundai, whatever it is. I said, how much is your season? And he told me how much it was, and I giggled. I said, I'll pay for your season. And then I said, the deal is, in your car, we'll do an enduro challenge. And if I get a quicker time, I get to crush that Hyundai, and you have to use it as a desk. If you win, I'll pay for your racing for the season. And he's shitting himself, because I was actually serious too. I would have fucking crushed that. One more Hyundai off the road, world's a better place. And I went, all right. So then I rang up Asher. I don't know. So I rang up. He's sitting at his desk. Oh, Asher, can you just give me some coaching? And he's like, who was that? I said, Asher. And he's like, oh, fucking this is... No, and he's getting more... I wasn't going to do it anyway, but I did ring up Asher. I wasn't getting tips. I thought, he has to beat me. It's his car, but I'll make him think I've been doing training and stuff like that. So we got to the race. He was 0.1 of a second ahead.
Oof.
And then something, I must have flat spotted the tyres or something. I'm not used to things when I push the brake on, it keeps on going. and then he ended up getting like a second or so. It was a chunk, and I was like, I got back, and he was excited. I'd come through on the deal. I made my first payment the other day, I think.
Yeah.
And so well done. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bit of fun.
Yeah. Like, you changed his life, or changed his year at least. Like, and he's gone racing.
Well, now this guy, this is Matt Totini.
Matt Totani.
Totani, whatever his bloody name. Fucking Matt is his name to me. He wants to do the Toyota 86 or something. And I said, mate, you've got two of these Hyundais. Why would you waste your time in another car that's slow? Like, I don't get it. But that's me looking at it, because I've driven something extremely fast straight off the bat. And to me, anything else is inferior. And it's nothing against the racing, because good on them, they've got full grids, because the grids are full, and that's what people want, because you get out of your car and you're racing someone. In that Enduro, I was racing someone. I had another great story of when I was in the Prototype series in Queensland. I said, I'll do two categories because I get bored. I'm like, all right, so Hyundai, my coach just say, that was at James Winslow at the time. Yeah. Said, mate, it's a totally different feel. You're going to fuck up your way you drive. I went, all right. So I did it. And then I was racing and everyone overtaking me. I was like, oh my God, I'm terrible at this, like so slow. And then got to the race, and then I had this full battle with this car, backwards and forwards. So it's like, bumped him on the straight, because you can do that. And I get out at the end of the race, and this 14-year-old girl gets out. And I was like, well, she might have been 15 or something. She's pointing, oh, that was awesome racing, all right. Her dad comes up, thanks for pushing her hard. I was like, fucking hell, man, I was trying to win the fucking race, not try to support your bloody daughter. Oh. But, yeah, it was so funny. And it was just one of those times that I thought to myself, you're not made out for Hyundai XL racing, mate. But, yeah, for Matt, I did a deal with him. And, the series does awesome to get, because it's so cheap. But that to me is an interesting thing, because I think if, like I said to Matt, if you drove the Prototype, you would blow your mind about what's capable and the downforce of G load.
And he wouldn't be even driving it at 50 or 60% of its capability, and he'd still be absolutely blown away by it.
100%. But it is a lot. I'd never asked like the XLs. Like, I had a mate just recently come back. He's been overseas. He was doing Red Bull Ring, and they were in the brand new Porsche GT3 or GT2 RS, whatever it is, and he said they went through 7 sets of tyres because that car chews tyres. That's $4,500 a set of tyres. Like, you fucking joking me? Yeah, I had a heart attack. Like, absolutely had a heart attack. I went, oh my God, like that's coin. And I'm sitting there going, wow, with my motorsport, I think it's expensive in the Prototype series, but for how much we spend, and I don't mind telling people, like, for accommodation, flights, new set of tyres to go on for quali, your food, your drink, everything. It's approximate with your pre-prep, post-prep for the car, so full prep, both pre and post. Works out to be around $10,000 if you own the car around. Now, people go, oh my God, that's a lot of money. But, a GT Cup car, $70,000 around. Right? So when you look at the times, we're doing the same times as a GT car, sometimes a bit quicker depending on the track. And I think to myself, I'm getting bang for buck. Like, I really am getting bang for buck in what we do for racing. And for me, the Prototype series is about the people. And, we have some characters, but we go out with each other, so it's like
a community more than
just the Friday night, and we get in late Thursday night with the crew, and then Friday we practice all day, then we all go out to dinner together, and then the pit crew, hopefully no one's done any damage to their car, they either come or they come later, and then we do the same thing. Is that
because they drink harder on the Friday night?
Nah, mate, I'll be honest with you, Steer used to be a menace, but now he's got a lot more responsibility. He and the team, they have a few drinks like anyone. But, we all go out together and we all enjoy it together. And then some of them kick on, and that's good on them. And then, the next day we do the same thing. And I love that. Like I like the fact that we got people not in jam coming, and that's to me that's what the Prototype series is about.
Yeah.
It's about that connection because you're spending very valuable time with people that aren't your family in most cases, and you need to make sure you're spending it with the right people.
100%.
Yep.
And that's why we do it. Yeah, we're competitive on the track. We're bloody competitive. Phil Hughes, the human ram pod, like Macros, Macros will bloody dice you as quick as he could. Like, rammed me. Still won't forget that Macros, Phillip Islander. No, Sydney Motorsport. Cut my rear tyre, thanks for that. So I haven't paid him back for that. Oh, I did actually.
Got one in the bank then.
Queensland Raceway. There was a gap there, but he knew the rules. But we all race hard together, and that's why I love it, and that's why I'm a bit passionate about it. It's expensive owning a team because we have had a couple of years of just floating through. The COVID's been terrible for trying to organise events, getting times, getting people together. It's been very difficult. So I hope this year seems to be panning out a little bit better for us, and we're gearing up. This year's plan or program or times, what do you call them? Track meets.
Schedule. Yep.
Yeah, have been a bit hard to organise for us. We've got, I don't know when you're playing this, when you're repeating this, but we've got the Super Trafore Asian series.
Yep.
Yeah, we're racing. That's round 2 for us at the Bend.
Wow.
And
that's June long weekend for anyone listening at home.
Yeah.
Did you hear that echo in the background? It almost sounded like the X-Files.
Yeah.
Like,
Mic drop.
Law and Order.
Yeah. June long weekend for anyone playing at home that does want to get along and see JP
and that'll be
in his
cool
car.
because that Asian series, they have Australia's the only country that's not in Asia.
Yep.
Maybe that's an early warning sign.
We're going to be taken over, you think?
We're being taken over by China. Oh my God. Dyson song.
You're Vietnamese, aren't you, V?
Yeah.
There you go. You're all good. That's
Dyson.
right.
So Dyson song is taking us over. So sorry, Dyson.
Dyson is a member of their racing team.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to
He's not talking about a hairstyling company
or a vacuum cleaner.
No. That's pretty funny, actually. I'll remember that one. But yeah, for us, it's about the people you're with, and I think motorsport loses that a bit. You can see that by the other fields we walk around, where if you're talking to someone else, or doors get shut. That's not us. And but when we race, we race to win. It's just getting the BOP right for us. It's the toughest part about our series, and it's probably the part that scares the radicals the most. Is that they probably think that the woofs are faster. And I can see why they think that. But you put you put Garnet Patterson in my car, in any car.
Yeah, he's going to drive the wheels off it.
Yeah, correct. And it'll come back with, I think that's the time. And a super fast radical can easily be the same as a super fast wolf.
Yep.
There's not that much different, albeit.
And they've probably got different characteristics. Like one's probably going to be better on a straight, one's going to be better through corners. So it's going to a track like the Bend may favour the Wolf versus a track like far out spitballing, but maybe like Eastern Creek that might favour the Radical a little bit more.
Yeah, well, that's a technical home track for them. But Radicals are split up a little bit, and they don't have full carbon fibre like cockpits. Like they've got little bars or poles that go through their cars. So, I mean. It's up to if I was worried about my life, I wouldn't be driving one. But there are people that go into a gentleman's series and they do good things. That you can go to Europe and you can get into a radical and you can literally bring my steering wheel with me, and that's cool. And I think that's stuff that we need to work on as a group. But we just want everyone to just come together and have a real strong. Where you can go to, we got 40 on the grid. We are on TV. But at the moment we can't do that.
Yep.
So it's a little bit challenging, and COVID's been a nightmare. So fingers crossed, we don't have another COVID. But it's been difficult. Difficult for racing.
Mount Panorama in a radical. Oh no, in your car. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm a bit dirty on it because we raced in the Bathurst Challenge.
Challenge or 12 hour?
No, it wasn't 12.
As in like the support category?
Oh, it was no, I don't think it was a 12 hour. No, it's like Challenge Cup or something like that. I'd never raced, but I've never been to Bathurst, and it was mind blowing how good that track was in these cars. Like, that you don't see it on the sim, you don't feel it on the sim, you don't see it on TV, but that undulation going up the straight before turn 2. You can feel yourself G out on the car, like it flattens you out in the car. Then you go up the hill, and all of those, 4, 5, 6, they're almost flat. They are flat. Slight lift coming into the grate there, and they are hooking. Like, it's amazing how the car hooks up. And my first time ever there, my coach wasn't with me, bastard. And we had some young little Kai Allen, some young little rookie that come and raced in Seb's radical, because Seb can't drive his own cars. He needs to get other people to show him that he's super slow. So Seb, if you're listening, drive your own car. So that was unbelievable, and we got very fortunate on that event. We went out on wets. It was dry, and then someone come off on the outlap, and so we were on wets. Everyone was on slicks. And then we literally got good 2 minutes ahead, and after that we almost lapped people because we were on the right tyres. Just pure luck. Right, but it's all the driving. I think I finished second.
Well, the driver's got to make the decision as well. Exactly. What he's confident with.
So that is, I had never driven that track. By far my favourite track, by a long shot.
Yeah,
and I like the Bend. If we're talking about racetracks. The Bend is an amazing track, and I like Sydney Motorsport, Phillip Island, Bathurst, the Bend, and that would be Bathurst 1, Bend 2, Sydney 3, Phillip Island 4. Yep. Because we need super smooth tracks. Our cars don't have much room for not smooth.
Yeah.
When the tracks are a bit older, and Sydney Motorsport, they've resurfaced the back part of the track, and it's a totally different track.
Yeah.
So for me, I love it, absolutely love it. I love Bathurst. Was mind blowing. I can't believe how cool it was. I can't believe I hadn't been to Bathurst.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember when I first went in '98 to see the 2 litres, because I'm a massive British Touring Car Championship fan, so I'm starting to show my age now. And the first thing that struck me was just the undulation, the pitch, the blind corners and stuff, especially across the top. TV doesn't capture it. No matter how advanced TV is, it doesn't capture it.
Neither does the sim.
Yeah.
I
doesn't
agree.
capture it.
It gave me nothing. And then, once again coming down Conrad. I think we're doing 2. Our cars aren't that quick in a straight line, so I think we're doing 280, 275.
Yeah, that's not quick.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're flat through that. That's wild. Like, it's like, and every time you chicken out, the car floats. Like, it's like Sydney Motorsport, Phillip Island, turn 1, flat. Yeah. And then Garnett's like, mate, you're lifting. No, I'm not. He goes, yeah, you're lifting. And I said, it's only a little one. He goes, hey, just hold it flat. It's just a mind thing.
Yep.
Like, it sounds so simple. Hold it flat. Yeah, okay.
He owes us a show.
He does.
Mr. Garnett Patterson.
He's such a busy man, though.
That's
hard
rubbish.
hard to lock him
He's
down.
busy too. He made
true.
the effort.
Yeah, true.
Garnett, he's a jet.
He is.
Yeah. He's
Garnett,
a
good bloke
Patterson, I told him he should be coaching Renee Gracie. But he thinks...
On track.
Yeah. He's a jet. He's one of those guys that, he went over to test drove with the LMP 2s. Fastest guy there.
Yeah.
Like, goes over to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, wherever it was. Fastest guy there. Everything. He can do 2 laps in my car, literally. The out lap on with tyre warmers on. He can do a couple of laps and bank that lap as, there you go, there's your benchmark.
There's your chaser.
And he's never been quicker than him. The closest I've got to him is about 0.9, I think.
Wow.
That's the closest I've got to him, but he is so good. But what's even better is he doesn't get involved in any bullshit. He can relay, like, what I'm telling him. Like, I'll say I did this, did that, and he goes, all right. And then he looks at the footage and he gives me full detail. I don't have him in my phone, so gives me full detail of what I'm actually doing.
Yeah.
And, I'm not a professional driver. I don't claim to be. My idea of, you're getting oversteered? Nah. He goes, well, what's that? And I'm correcting. I go, He goes, yeah, you're correcting. That's oversteer. I'm like, it is getting oversteered. Like, people think you should just know it, but it takes someone to sit there and watch.
And show you all those little bits and pieces.
Yeah, and ever since having Ghana, my driving has improved out of mind. And I started my career at the rear field, and then got to the middle, and now I'm at the front because I'm driving way better. But I've also got a car that's really it just feels good.
Yeah. You're in sync. Yeah,
like it feels good.
Yeah.
So for me, it is about the coaching. And if anyone listen, I don't know but getting coaching was critical for me to become a better driver.
Oh, this is exactly where we're going at the moment through our racing kart team. Is we are now offering driver coaching with all of the relaying of data and over the cameras on the karts, so that you can see steering inputs and all that sort of stuff. So I've got a few little proteges that will listen to this podcast, and to hear it come from somewhere else, that the most valuable investment into motorsport is in the coaching that you get from someone that's experienced and knows what they're talking about. Because the driver is 95% of the problem.
Yeah, I 100% think so. And Garnett's just he can explain it. You know who else is good? Harry Jones. So I don't know, Junior. Harry, I don't know. He's actually overseas racing Porsches now. But Harry was good as well because he didn't get involved. He's an engineer, and he could take what you tell him to overlay it, and that's not easy to do. I can't do it at all.
Yeah.
But when you're comparing your laps against the people that you think are the fastest, and there's fast drivers, don't get me wrong, but consistently fast. Yeah, he's a jet. I really appreciate. I'm lucky enough to be able to work with Garner, and he is a busy. He is.
Yeah.
I met his parents the other day at the Motorsport Festival. What are you guys doing here? And they go, mate, we never bloody see him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. But behind every good driver, there's a good woman.
Family.
So Tay, she's bloody awesome too. So, good combination, and that for me is that I love going away with that sort of temperament because I'm a bit out there when I go. Like I'll watch between sessions. I'll go watch a movie.
Yeah, okay.
Like I like sitting there because I never get to watch movies, so I'll sit and watch a movie in between that. I'll watch Taylor Gator Nights. I'll watch stuff that pumps me up, and that's how I switch off. But when we come to race, it's game on. And Garnet, okay, come to me. All right, I'm ready. All right. Or you'll go out to dinner, and then by the time you get back to your room, you'll have a map, and then in the morning.
Yeah.
Debrief. Give me any more than two things. It's a bit too much. But, brake here, you're braking too early, harder on the brake, use the brake pressure. So you're using all your data to see how the pressure. And I compare his lap with mine, and you're looking at the overlay and you think, how the hell are you hitting the pedal that hard? Like, I feel like it locks up.
Yeah.
No. And he's in the same setup, same day, same car. It's a bit different.
Normally within the same 10-minute or 30-minute time frame too.
100%. So for me, that's been the best thing that I've done, and it's made me a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Like it has made me a lot quicker. So it's really helped. 100% recommend getting coaching if anyone's thinking about it.
Well, Harry over here, when we were testing at Southerns, going back a couple of years ago now, I think it was. We spent a whole day together, and Lee, pretty much we dialed in the setup of my kart. We were happy with that. And then we did track walks, and then he pretty much watched me do laps and say, change this line, change that line, etc. And we found, close to a second?
Yeah.
But then the lap times are also a lot more consistent. Driving was a lot more relaxed. So, yeah, completely agree. It does help, for sure. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
And I see people, Filthy Phil Hughes, he races with us. They call him the Ferrari fixer.
Oh, really?
He does all the Ferrari. Only old. Okay. Don't talk to him about hybrid. Don't talk to him about electric. He hopes they burn in hell. But he does, in Melbourne, the Ferrari fixer. He does F40s, Dinos. You name and people send their cars to him to do. He literally does his own. He looks after his own car, and the human battering ram, as he's called. and I'd like, how do you do it? But I'd like to know how much he spends on a round, because he would be the most affordable racing than anyone does. And it goes to show you can do it like that. Yeah. And that, it's your entry fees and, your time away from home. You're staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
they're your fees. And then he chooses sometimes not to go new tyres. Like, you know, all these things, people can do it.
Yeah, budget racer.
Yeah, 100%. And what's more important, he's just such a cool guy to hang out with, mate. I mean, he looks at Ferrari, so they were the wrong wheel nuts on that. Right, they didn't come out in those mags. Like, I cannot tell you, he is the almanac of Ferrari. It's just amazing to hear him talk about. No, they didn't come out like that. They come out like this. And in fact, that's only one of 50. There's only 50. In fact, there's only one right-hand drive 328 GTB, I think, or GT, whatever. There's only one with ABS, right-hand drive. And I went, fuck, bullshit. He goes, no. Like, you know, he has stats that you sit there and go, wow.
Well,
he knows a lot. He knows a lot. But once again, it comes down to the budget of racing, because for me, I think racing is expensive. And you talked about the Hyundais. What career are you going for on a Hyundai? You go to V8s? I don't know. Do you?
No, I think it's a start. It's a start. And for a lot of the families in go-karts, if they're doing it at the top level right now, it's not much more of a step. So it's easier to sell up all your go-kart stuff, go into Hyundais, race against 40 people every weekend, rather than be in the political drama of racing go-karts at a national level. And, you know, there is a chance. There is a chance that, like you said, there could be that team guy, that team owner that goes, wow, that kid's come out of nowhere in Hyundai Excels. He's running comfortably in the top 2 or 3 every race meeting now, and he doesn't even have the best gear. Like, maybe he's worth a chance. Like, there is that chance, whereas in go-karts, that chance is 0.0001%.
Yeah, because I'm not into I like go-karts, but I haven't seen the race meets for them, so I don't know if it's a different leader all the time. I'm not sure. Like, when I saw the results of my mate, you know, he got a good result in one, like 4th in the end or something, but it seems like it's all over the shop.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's some people with faster cars too.
Yes. Yeah. There's definitely some disparity in the engines and that sort of stuff. And if you have a good engine, you're gonna be good, even if you maybe not so the best driver.
Yeah, and I see that in our Excels.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's some dudes with, I'd hate to think what they're spending on racing.
Yeah.
And those engines are meant to be sealed. Meant to be.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
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 Meant to be.
Yep. Meant to be.
Meant to be.
Go-kart engines are meant to be equal.
Yeah, exactly. Meant to be.
But for me, an outsider looking in, I see kids karting makes a lot of sense. Can you? I think you have to be 14.
14 to go into Excels,
Yep.
So it makes sense. And if you get into the driver academy, you got to be 14 and a half for an F4. You get in a driver academy for Ferrari, you actually can go under 14 and a half.
Yep.
Because the age is younger. The age is younger in Europe, so that Ferrari driver academy is more aimed at Europe.
Okay, so the kids are younger.
Yep.
Yeah. So you said before, like, you know, maybe year 9, you've got to be overseas in Europe. If you're really, really, really wanting to make a big name for yourself these days, it's like if you're 8 or 9, not year 8 or year 9, 8 or 9, you need to be looking at going to Europe. So there's a couple of kids from Australia at the moment. Sebastian Eskandari Morandi, who's joined the factory Tony Kart team, and he's only like 9 years old. And that's when you need to be in Europe, living, racing, breathing it.
I still got hope, Layla.
Yeah,
there's hope.
She's just hanging on to it.
Never driven a fast kart. Yeah, there's hope.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
But wow, so that's pretty scary. I didn't realise. Well, it doesn't surprise me that it's like that.
But that's the thing. Like, they get to Europe in terms of on the karting ranks, but you have to be such a standout at such a young age that's where some of these people will take notice, because the grids are so dense there and the racing is so high. You've got to be a standout. There's one kid there that's 14 years old that's racing KZ, Italian surname, I can't remember his name, but he's a factory Kart Republic driver. He's making waves now.
Kart Republic.
Kart Republic. So but I mean, he's only one, you know, and there's guys there that are still our age that are racing for factory kart manufacturers like CRG and DR and that type of thing as well. That they just love the purity of the racing, but their career's going no further. So it's a meat market out there. It's tough, really tough, and that's, you know, where we're going back earlier in the piece about girls not racing and not getting into the top. At what point are we going to get one of these people, because clearly the talent's there, is to just put their money where their mouth is and say, look, I'm going to back you all the way. let's break the mold and the stereotype and actually get you on the grid. You know, V8 supercars tried to do that somewhat poorly with Moto di Silvestro, but her CV is so good, right? That V8 supercars.
Is that V8 chick?
Yeah. So Moto di Silvestro. She's what, factory Porsche driver now overseas?
Yeah, factory Porsche. She came over when they had the Nissan still. She did a season with Kelly Racing.
Yep.
But this is going back 4 or 5 years ago when Renee Gracie first did her first Bathurst thing, and David Reynolds got in some trouble.
Yep. But the car and the equipment that she had was not to the standard. It wasn't the same. So it made her look worse than what she actually really was, because all of a sudden she's back in Europe. She's a factory Porsche driver. She's racing Le Mans. She's
winning everything
overseas. You know,
who's this?
Simona Di Silvestro. So she came from IndyCars and she came and raced in supercars for, I think she was here for a couple years.
What was her name? The Iron Lady.
How'd she go?
Yeah. Not that great.
Not that great.
Yeah. So then she teamed up with Renee Gracie. That was Renee Gracie's first Bathurst attempt.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they were both wild cards at that. And then she did full season the next year and she was down the back.
Yep. But the car that she was racing, which was a Kelly Racing Nissan Altima, was never the package for her to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because it was substandard anyway. So, and that's the unfortunate tale.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that happens, right? But when will we see F1 females?
Yeah.
It's got to be soon, doesn't it?
I think it's got to be within the next
be.
sort of 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully in our lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely will be in our lifetime. But I think
Layla Drake.
Layla Drake, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
You're hearing it here
5
first.
Years, yeah.
But
You'll replay this.
Oscar Piastri's shown that it only takes, if you're good, you take the most direct path. You win Formula 4, you win Formula 3, you win Formula 2, you're in Formula 1. That's as simple as it gets. And if you've got the backing and the bank of dad to help you, then there's no stopping you really. But yeah, I think 5 to 10 years we'll get a girl into Formula 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would hope so. Did they talk about it?
Yeah.
So does F1, because they got the women's...
They've got a new Formula Academy, which is a women's series again.
I watched it on KO.
Yeah. Any good?
It's insane.
There was some good bits, but the race I watched, it was a 12-lap race. I was like, yep, start. Went to lap 9. Missed out. Lap 9. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, so it was a highlights package.
Yeah, on KO.
Right,
it's on KO at the moment.
Yeah.
But it goes through the drivers and they interview them like F1. They're they're exactly like the Formula 1 guys.
Yeah, Formula 1 own that series now.
Well, they're young though. Yeah. They are a lot younger.
Yeah.
They look like kids.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they are. They're mostly sort of 18, 19, if that, I reckon.
Yeah, so I think it's awesome. I really hope to see it very soon. I wonder if they actually talk about it.
Oh, they're definitely, Jamie Chadwick is a Williams.
She's awesome. I love her.
Yeah, she's a Williams reserve driver, I think, and does a lot of stuff in their simulator and stuff. So she's probably the closest at the moment.
That's the thing. They get to that level, like Susie Wolf.
Yeah,
she was but they get to that level and then it stops.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, what is it going to take for them to say, you know what, drive? Here's the spot. They give a drive to Robert Kubica, who was an absolute legend, but he's got one hand.
Yeah.
That's a wasted seat, and that's no disrespect to Robert, but at that level, he ain't driving a car like, say Lewis or
why did they do
Valtteri.
that?
All in dollars.
Bought sponsorship. Massive.
Bought sponsorship. And Kubica was a gun. He would have been the man had he not done his hand.
Well, he did that rallying,
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, well, that's a seat that could have been filled by someone that was racing and was female.
Yeah.
Lost opportunity.
Who do you think? So Oscar, McLaren's in for a tough ride, I think.
Next 3-4 years, yep.
You think so?
Yep. Yeah, I think that this set of rules, they've got to ride out now, and they start putting all of their eggs into the next year basket pretty early on, I think. So I give it, sort of 3 years, and they'll be back up the front again. Like you're seeing with Aston Martin. Aston Martin have purposely struggled the last few years, and you've seen them now come out this year with the new rule set, the new rules and regulations, and they've gone, this is our year, and you can see them straight up the front. So McLaren now have to do the same rebuild, I think. And Oscar's as good, if not better, than Lando, which is big because Lando's an absolute gun.
He thinks he is too.
That's unfortunate. I used to really like Lando, but now he's gotten so
Definitely
ego,
changed.
such a huge ego. I don't like it.
I don't know. They've made him look bad.
Yeah.
Like that Drive to Survive to been great for Formula 1.
has been bad for drivers.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, Drive to Survive has ruined the boys' trip to go to F1. Hasn't it? It's got a lot to answer for. Like, fuck, that was an easy trip. Go to F1, babe. Yeah, no worries. Now, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I know my wife was never into Formula One as much as I was until Drive to Survive. And now it's like
look,
hanging for the new season.
they've got a lot to answer.
Yeah.
No, there's no drive.
There's another one that'll come this year.
Oh, that'll come.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yep. So we've done 4 seasons, I think.
Oh, they've got a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
I must admit, I went to Melbourne with Red Bull. Fuck, it was so good.
Yep.
And I did not see the extra cameras following. Like, you know how you can clearly see I didn't see them.
They're very,
I was in
very
the paddock club.
conspicuous.
I know, but
And a lot of it's GoPro. A lot of it's GoPro.
Stop it.
No, they wear it on their little chests.
Yep.
Yep.
He'd seen it firsthand.
Been there.
There you go. There's the snort.
Yeah, no, like, so obviously we were talking off air before, but I spent a lot of time in the paddocks and stuff, like on ground level of the paddock.
So how they get the mic then?
It's that's a boom mic, yeah. But then you see so many other camera, like Sky News and then Ray Television and all that sort of stuff. So there's 5, 6, 7 of them running around the paddock anyway. So they don't really miss that.
So Daniel Ricciardo, Nick DeGrease or whatever.
Yeah,
What's
DeGrease,
going on
right?
there?
That's his driving record.
He's in trouble, isn't he?
He's shit.
They won't get rid of him this year. They've come out I think today or yesterday and said they won't get rid of him
That's
this year.
normally the first time that they will.
Yeah,
that's it.
and even if they do, Ricciardo is not the replacement. So
okay, what they said that.
That's what I've read. Yep. So yeah, I think and again, I've said this on our podcast on the weekend that De Vries is a very talented driver. He didn't win 2 World Go-Karting Championships and 2 Formula E Championships for not being any good.
Formula E.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem. He's Formula E.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's never going to make it.
He's the competition. It's all a script.
I didn't realise that.
We got
Now
Lee
I know.
and a guy by the name of Biscuits, who's on our show. He's one of our regulars. Black and Blue swore in the face that Nick De Vries was the second coming of Christ, and I'm like, he's shit.
No, he's still coming. You've got to let him come.
There's a lot of people that are coming first. It's asked Renee Gracie, but anyway, he's shit. He's shit. I'm sorry. He's shit.
So I've got an F1 group chat. It's pretty lame.
Yep.
But Phil Hughes, Filthy Phil, the battering ram,
Must be guys wearing red.
Ferrari fanatic. He loves bloody George Russell. Now,
So's my wife.
oh my
Yeah, but that's only
God.
because he does a pose like he's the second coming of Christ in the new introduction.
I did that pose. I put that into my car. Phil Hughes had hit.
So similar to the Red Bull picture that's getting around at the moment from Azerbaijan. There was when George hit Max, he cut a hole in his side pod, and they've put George in there like that. So they've
I'll
obviously
put it
done
up,
the same thing.
Oh, how good is that? See? So George Russell, I mean, fuck, if there's a driver that annoys me, it's him.
Is it just the way he talks?
He's just annoying. He's always whinging. He does my head in.
Yeah.
It's the wide-eyed deer in headlights look, isn't it?
I don't know. I try to like them all. They all appear to get on well. That's what I like.
Yep.
Do they really?
They seem to be this year.
They
Yeah.
do. They
Even
seem
Ocon
like
and
they're all
Gasly.
bumping together. They
Playing golf and racquetball and all that together. And
It's all a facade.
yeah, it's all for Netflix.
Yeah, it's all.
Well, the
it's all a
Netflix is
facade.
pretty good. I mean, I think it's been great for the
For the sport, just
the
bad
sport.
for our relationships with our
yes,
friends.
100% bad for our relationships. You are, yeah, absolutely. No, I
So
loved
your
it.
wife likes it then too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But F1 was like, oh yeah, we're going because we were meant to be away and we're literally coming back on the day. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, we had a ball. Like, got to hang out with one of my mates from D-Tex. He doesn't sponsor actually. He does the cyber for Williams.
Yep.
And one of the nights he said, "Oh, you want to come out to dinner?" I rocked up, and there's the chief engineer for Williams there, and talking to him was wild. Like, yeah, they download 300 gig of data over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I go, "What do you do?" And I better not actually say what he said, but it was fascinating talking about that, what they're getting from data. I mean, he wasn't giving any secrets away, but it was just fascinating having that chat to someone that's just in it.
Yeah, it's a very innovative world, and there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and I think that's what opened my wife's eyes to it. She's an advisor and an accountant by trade, and so seeing all of that stuff and the engineering in behind it, that made her ears prick up a little bit and see a bit more behind the scenes.
Just don't tell her to get the F1 light unlimited access as a tax write-off, because that'll ruffle her feathers.
With Netflix for F1, what do you think is going to happen with V8s? Do you think it's going to be a steady downhill till the prototype series takes over?
Yep, you're hearing it here. Yep, that's the way.
Like,
especially with you at the helm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's a good question, because it's in a real state. I mean,
are you implying that the V8s need to do something similar?
Well, they have a problem where the Mustangs is too fast. Is that right?
Oh, something. There's some
they're trying to
issue.
create
the Camaro, yeah.
Yeah, like I know how they feel, but I don't know. I just did. For me, it's if you're doing motorsport, you want to be F1.
Yep.
I don't know. Netflix is probably only accelerating. All those guys. Was that Brock? Whatever, winning Feeney, Brock.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd be looking at myself going, I'm driving a V8.
It's funny because they're at the moment the series is in a state of flux where they're trying to hold on to what was the past.
Correct. And now there's no Ford here, no Holden.
Yeah. It's kind of lost its relevance.
I thought it had, but I like the racing. I think it comes down to racing once again.
Yep.
If they're going backwards and forwards, and I used to like the British touring series. Is that still around?
Still around. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you're talking, my friend.
It's similar to TCR though. Like it's not. It's
100%
it's very similar to TCR.
Yeah,
it's close racing. There's no aero. There's all the rest of it, and it's super. Like you don't know who's going to win, and they've got a performance ballast. So if you win one round, then you've got to have 50 kilos of lead put in your go-kart. If you finish in your car, if you finish second, it's like 25, and if you finish third,
as long as it's evaluated all the time, I don't mind that.
Yeah, it's on a race by race basis.
I would like to bring to the prototype series a prize money.
Yep.
Like I'd love to put on the table some money for first, second, and third. What do they get for V8s? Probably nothing.
I don't know.
Maybe a trophy.
A trophy.
Yeah. They'd get money. They'd get prize money.
Oh, the team would.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, I think the team gets championship prize money.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, here's a story for you to answer that. So we know Dean Canto really well, and back in 2012 when he finished second at Bathurst,
interesting looking guy.
He's a cool dude though.
He's a good guy.
But his trophy that he had for finishing second that year, he had to get a replica made in order for him to keep one at home. The team kept the original, and they'd lend it to him for show purposes, but then he'd have to actually get a replica made. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, shit, what's going to be like for the prize money? They drove the thing. Like, do they get money?
A team might take that.
Yeah, it's all team stuff. They pay the driver to do a job.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I was trying to think of ways for the series, but
like in Formula One, for example, they get prize money at the end of the year for the team. The driver gets nothing of that. It's not he gets a trophy for winning the world championship, but the driver is employed to do the job. I would imagine it's the same in V8 supercars. The teams get owner points. They get a share of the divvy up of the pool of prize money, I guess, depending on their their points.
So F1, $1 million a point, right?
Something like that. It's close. Yeah.
$1 million a point, if give or take.
Yeah.
That's a fair bit.
It's not bad.
And that's why it means there's so much to them to score points. Yeah.
Yep. Do you? So we've talked F1. F1's, as long as Max doesn't turn into the bloody whitewash, but I unfortunately think
it's going to be. Yeah,
it's going to be.
It is.
Yeah.
Having my chat with Bottas, my mate, that hasn't answered any of my fucking messages. All right, hasn't answered one. Like, come on,
you were
Tiffany.
You were the coffee guy.
100%.
How could he not?
No, I was more than that. We were in Kangaroo Island, and middle of nowhere. And my mate's got a Mercedes. This is when he was with Mercedes. And he goes, "Oh, that's Tiffany so-and-so." I went, "Oh, that's fucking Bottas then." Two people were cycling, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Screamed past them, pulled over on the side of the road. they rode past. I went, that's fucking Bottas smoking. So we pull up next to him. I'm out the sunroof. Bottas, we love you. And he fucking looks up laughing. Middle of nowhere. There's Bottas and his Mrs. Tiffany.
Yep.
And I invited him over to the shack. Didn't come over. Didn't respond. Been hit him up heaps of times. Come on, Bottas, let's just social
Lift your game. If you're listening to this Bottas, it's time for you to give back to South Australia.
More.
Give more back.
Most anyone's ever given back, but give back. Might be able to get on my podcast.
He could. Now you got to challenge us. He could get on our podcast.
Yes, Bottas, lift your game. But
Exactly.
where was I going with that story?
I don't know.
I was going to say my claim to fame is I used to race with Tiffany, but at amateur level back in cycling days.
Riding bikes again.
Riding bikes again.
Yeah, he won't let it go.
Hey,
He won't let it go.
You won't let this go.
you know what it is? It's because I was training last night on my time trial bike.
Yeah,
That's how I'm still fresh in that whole thing.
And you're listening to Frozen from your kids, so you haven't learned to let it go yet.
No, I haven't let it go
Oh,
yet.
lots of layering there, mate. Well done, I'm impressed. Hey, guys, who do you think is the most talented driver in Formula One and then everyone else?
Charles Leclerc.
Said from a Ferrari fan.
No. Hands
Please,
down,
mate.
Charles Leclerc. As an out-and-out racer at the peak of his powers, if he was in the right car, I would say he would make Max look like donkey shit.
Well, you obviously woke up and had some illegal substances
my
before breakfast.
God, what?
Water.
What
And
have
a
you
full bladder.
been smoking, mate?
He's
Mate.
pulled your trick from the Saints gym, and he had a water bottle earlier that was not water. It had a hidden...
It's the coffee that Andy gave me, I reckon. It's a bit of extra
Mate,
potency in
you
that.
are tripping, aren't you?
No sirree. And look, I'm actually dyed-in-the-wool Carlos Sainz fan, but I'd say out and out, Charles. Right now, if you put them all equal footing, over one lap in particular, Charles, any day of the week.
Charles. It's not Charles.
No, Charles. Charles Leclerc.
Looks like Charles to me.
Yeah.
I think
Like-
if you gave them all the Red Bull right now and sent them on a lap,
Yeah.
it would be between Max and Lando Norris.
Oh my God.
Fucking hell, dude.
Unfortunately,
No.
like Lando can steer a race car.
Lando's good. Yeah. But no,
Well, they're
Charles.
all good,
Yeah.
but good doesn't cut it.
Who do you think?
Max.
Who do you think?
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, I think I used to hate Max. I was a Max hater.
Yep.
And then the more I watch him, he is fucking good.
Yep.
And it's I think it's unfortunate if they just have a whitewash, it will ruin the hard work that Netflix has done.
Yeah. But we've seen it so many times with Mercedes. It's just we've swapped from the Mercedes era into now we're going through another Red Bull dominance. So
Williams had their stint too in the early to mid 90s as well.
so we'll be right.
I know
Netflix will script their drama into it. There'll be some teammate
Well,
bull crap.
do you think they do script?
Yeah, there's been a fair bit. I don't think there was as much tension between Max and Daniel as they put on.
Oh no, but do you think they'll go up to Max and say, throw this race, mate?
No way.
No way. No way.
They're throwing a cat amongst the pigeons there.
Oh,
No.
come on, mate. Netflix, big budget.
I think the storyline, they
sells.
won't throw the races, but they throw
Do you
lots
don't
of
think they
storyline
threw
in
the
there.
last race there where they said, all right, Michael Massey says,
Abso-fucking-lutely they did.
oh, okay, now we're with me.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Mate, I've been saying it for the last 2 years. That was
Massey's a scapegoat.
the most disgraceful. That is the most biased, disgraceful decision of a motorsport result.
What was wrong
in
with the decision?
It was fucked. That's what it was.
Oh, looked legitimate to me. Some bloke crashes,
Nah,
put him on a safety car,
Let them go racing again.
and let them go racing.
nah.
Yeah, there was still a lap left.
Yep.
Why not race it?
Let half of them unlap themselves
Yep.
and let the rest go for it.
All you Max lovers can huddle in the corner and smoke your hash like they do in Amsterdam.
Oh my god, I couldn't sleep after that. After that, right, I was in disbelief. I was actually in disbelief.
same.
Like I was sitting there going, "Holy shit, what did we just watch then?" But I didn't. It looked legitimate. I spoke to Michael Massey.
Yep.
He was at the Velo.
At the Velo and at the was he at the Motorsport Festival?
He was
too?
I didn't see him there, but I had a chat to him. I said, "Oh, I do a podcast," and he pissed himself laughing. He said, "Mate, I cannot talk about that at all. NDA.
Yeah.
He goes, "I can talk about everything else." I said, "Oh."
That's not
it's
what's on
okay.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but made the decision at the time. What was a good turning point is the team owners should not be able to fucking ring up
Yes.
Yep.
race control and plead like a little bitch, Toto, and have a cry. You cannot do that, like Michael.
Michael, it's
No,
not right.
Michael,
It's
no.
not right, Michael.
Michael.
Like, but they can't do that anymore.
No,
Yeah, no.
good. Best thing
And
that
good.
happened.
And since he got
you can
the-
thank Michael for that.
Since he got the walking stick as well, like they've had the same scenario happen 3 times and it's ended 3 different ways, including one lap or one time the same as Michael Massey did it, and nothing came of it. Like, why aren't the new race directors walking as well? Like, fuck, it's just so annoying.
What they should have done is what they did earlier in the year, and there was a precedent set at the Italian Grand Prix, which was stop the race and then restart the fucking thing. That's it.
Well,
Simple.
I
For
think
more
they were
level pegs.
thinking it's going to be finished under red flag. Then the car got off pretty quick.
Pretty quick,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, we've got a race to go. And I think that's what happened. I actually don't mind the standing start. I reckon that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Stop. Okay, because F1 cars, not like I'm shitting myself on a standing start. Like, that's a pretty scary,
Yeah,
that's my scariest time to race. But these guys, they all get off, every one of them. Like, so I think that's not a bad way. Unfortunately, Lewis didn't pit. Poor Lewis, and didn't ice on fresh tires.
He was going to get his 8th world
Have you
championship.
heard Christian Horner talk about that overtaking move?
No.
So he says when he actually overtook Max, Max's legs were so dead that because they hadn't done laps, when he went to brake, he couldn't stop, went straight past and went, oh shit, I'm overtaking. And that's how he overtook. Christian Horner talks, he did a Instagram thing.
Yeah, right.
And he talked in detail about why. And he said, yeah, Max said he couldn't feel his legs. He went to stop and he just rolled straight through.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
2 hours. I know what it's like for drive for 30 minutes.
Yep.
2 hours. They're pretty fit, those dudes.
And you've been going for a while and then had a rest, so that lactic acid build up.
That's apparently what happened. Dead leg.
Yep.
Costly. Could have been.
It's actually funny you say that, because my criticism of Lewis is, why did he not close the gap? Because anyone in their right mind would have sent it through that spot. I would have. If I was Max, I would have straight in.
Oh, I don't think Lewis was expecting it there.
Yeah.
No.
He would have been thinking he's not going to do.
On the
That's. I
straight,
mean,
it's
that's
on
what
the
you're
straight, it's on
thinking.
the straight. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh fuck, got him off guard, but
Yeah.
he should have hit him.
Yeah. Well, that's all he needed to do.
Yeah,
That's all he needed
would have
to
been
do.
more exciting.
100%.
So if I was the executive producer for Netflix, oh yeah,
Next time.
let's let's just what, take him out. All right, another $1 million bonus. Done.
yeah.
No. Best driver on the grid, Charles, without a doubt. Give him the right machine.
How about
smoke pot.
guess best junior kid coming up through the ranks?
At what level? Karting?
I don't look. I don't know them, so I don't know the karters. So I'm just asking you guys. You guys know a lot about
Formula
motorsport.
2. Oliver Behrman in Formula 2. He's a British dude, and he's part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. And
Have
he's a
seen him drive. I do like the Formula 2. If anyone wants to watch something, Formula 2 has been awesome.
Yep.
Like I would like to drive Formula 2. I only need $2 million.
Just to buy one, yeah.
Yeah. I bet I'm driving and losing every week.
Every race. You have to spend about $2 million in gym membership fees as well to get fit to drive them.
But I think that's you're
There's
right.
not enough money
the
in the world for
progression,
me.
boom, 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 win, 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 done. And I imagine I could be in Formula 1.
Absolutely.
I could be
There's
the
still hope.
first female driver in Formula 1.
Identify as,
Yeah.
and you'll be sweet. Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I'm down for it.
down
I'll
for it.
support that
Yeah.
cause.
Yeah, I'm still trying to answer your question from who I think is coming up.
What
Obviously
about
F2. Go-karting.
F2s? I mean, there's lots of talent there.
Yeah,
the
that-
F3 racing too is good.
Yeah,
I like because I
Right.
get to watch that in KO.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all better because there's no stupid downforce rules, and they're not got as much downforce, so they can follow better and all that jazz. But yeah, no, there's too many people in go-karting to name. Like one guy, you might not even be the best guy that's winning. It'll be the best guy that's got enough money to go to the next phase.
You know who I'd love to see, and I'm really looking forward next year, would be Kyle Larson, Indy 500 in an open wheeler. But then also I'd love to see Scott McLaughlin have a crack at F1.
Yep.
Because
He's doing Indy now. Though.
he's
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
Indy.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 What happened? He was V8s, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he moved because he was with Penske. So Penske said, "Come over and test an Indy car, and if you like it, we'll put you in one."
Cool.
And he was fast enough, and so Penske are now.
Has he won any races?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
won 3 or 4 races. Yeah.
Heaps.
Yep. He's actually really fast.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I don't know. I'm not as. I've watched F1.
That's about it.
I used to love rally driving. Colin McRae got me into rally driving.
Man after my own. I love this guy, man.
Yeah, that's what's got me my first WRX was Colin McRae. I had one of the first WRX in 1999.
Yep.
And I remember, I think I bought it for myself, actually. It was a present for myself. That was my first new car I ever bought, and pulled out of Eblin's at Glenelg. And I said, all right, don't take it over 4,000 RPM until we're at side street. Fuck! Red line. Went on. I had my mate in the car, said, shit, all right, fuck. Well, there goes that roll. Just since then, I was bulletproof, that car, except for the gearbox.
I remember my dad used to, that's what got me into motorsport looking back, was Dad. A long time ago, used to be a club level rally driver. So he would race in a Renault Gordini.
Okay.
So rear engine with wheels like this at the rear.
Yeah. Was that a Group B car? No.
No, Renault Gordini's like little 2-litre little things. We're talking early 70s.
Okay.
But then
they came after.
Yeah, and then Group A, Group B. So like we're talking the Audi Quattro era, Lancia 037. So I used to watch all the videos and docos and stuff with him. So, guys like Joachim Kinnan, Didier Auriol, Mickey Biasion, like all those guys, they were people that I looked up to. It probably tells why I go so well in the wet and so shit in the dry. So
Nothing to do with your centre of gravity at all.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So,
the rally drive, they're a bit crazy.
Hey man, don't knock the rhino glute. This ass has got power, I can tell you now.
The
rally drivers, they're crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone goes, oh, would you do rally? No way. Like, it's dangerous enough on a track, let alone...
Same as they are on the same kilter as MotoGP riders. You've got different genes to do them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Colin, I met my wife wearing my Subaru 555 jacket.
Yeah.
And I was wearing velvet purple tracksuit
Why does
pants.
that not surprise me?
How iconic is that livery?
Like this top on the table.
Yeah.
The shaded wagon.
And my that was my favourite. Never took it off, and I had a WRX at the time. And that's how I met my wife, and she's the luckiest. I'm the luckiest person. All right, guys.
Man, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Speaking of my wife, I'll be getting.
Yeah, I was
We've all got to get back to our wives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, this has been an absolute pleasure. What a hoot! It's so cool to have you on the show, and I can't thank you enough personally. I'm sure Lee does as well.
I appreciate the time and for not holding back.
No, it's been awesome. Oh, thank you very much. I'm not on the other side of the podcast, so I love it. It's a lot easier than mine, Tom. Oh my God, it's a lot
Happy
easier
to take
sit
that
and
stress
talk.
off you for a little minute.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you. I hope we talked about some cool stuff. I'm interested to see the go-karting stuff.
Yep, you know where to come. Go-karts Paraka, and we'll sort you out.
Yeah, definitely. I want to get my daughter in one.
Yeah, done. We'll sort you out. Come
just to see what she thinks of it. But, it's one of those things. That's why I tell everyone, lease it first, see if you like it. And if you like it, then some people aren't cut for racing.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Well, we're just getting our first cadet carts shipped down from Queensland this week. So we'll have a cadet cart ready for lease drives.
Okay.
We're ready to go.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks
man.
on.
Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Take care.
You.
No worries. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Can we get a photo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.